108वें भारतीय विज्ञान कांग्रेस में सम्मिलित देश विदेश से आए सभी मान्यवरों तथा सहभागियों का भी हृदय से स्वागत है।
Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Rabindranath Tagore's dream for India may come true with the sincere contribution of all of us. Indian Science Congress has a long legacy leading India to achieve the goal of scientific progress and development. It provides an optimistic platform to the young talent and budding scientists of India. We, as the citizens of India, are celebrating 75 years of Indian independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, with great zest and zeal. Similarly, we, as Nagpurians, are celebrating centenary year of Rashtrasanta Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. It is a proud privilege to the university to host Indian Science Congress again after 50 years. Let us have the pious beginning of this program.
ओम अस्तो मा सद्गमय तमसोर मा ज्योतिर्गमय अमृतो मा अमृतम गमय ओम शांति शांति शांति। दीप हमारी सभ्यता और संस्कृति की अलौकिकता का प्रतीक है। अज्ञान से ज्ञान की ओर, अंधकार से प्रकाश की ओर मानसिक संवाद का प्रत्यक्ष साक्षी है यह दीप। मंच पर उपस्थित सभी मान्यवरों से विनम्र अनुरोध है कि दीप प्रज्वलन कर कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करें। दीप प्रज्वलन।
दीप ज्योति परब्रह्म दीप सर्वत्र मोपः दीपेन सायते सर्व दीप ज्योति नमोस्तुते नमोस्तुते। Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. It is a matter of immense pleasure to be with Dr. Vijaya Lakshmi Saxena ji, General President of Indian Science Congress Association. Madam has rendered her services as a member of Central Institute Body, Standing Academic Committee, All India Institute of Medical Science, Patna and Rajkot. Her administrative talent exhibits her work as a member of Academic Council of KIIT University, Bhubaneswar. With due respect to her academic excellence, I request Principal Dr. Shraddha Naidu ma'am to welcome Vijaya Lakshmi ji. Thank you, ma'am. We are honored with the presence of another woman of substance, Mrs. Kanchanji Gadkari among us. Kanchanji is known to the Nagpurians for her involvement and contribution to the field of art and social sector. She is the national president of Sanskar Bharati and president of Seva Sadan Shikshan Sanstha Nagpur. Despite a wife of a very dynamic political leader, she has successfully carved a niche as a very workaholic woman, contributing her services to various academic, cultural, and administrative associations and institutions. It is a request to Principal Dr. Urmila Dabir to welcome Mrs. Kanchanji Gadkari.
धन्यवाद मैडम। महाराष्ट्र की आदिवासी राहीबाई पोपरे उन खास लोगों में से है जिन्हें भारत के सर्वोच्च नागरिक पुरस्कारों में से एक पद्म पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया गया है। पद्मश्री राहीबाई 154 देसी किस्मों के बीजों का संरक्षण करने वाली भारतीय महिला किसान व पर्यावरण संरक्षक हैं। आप भारत की सीड मदर तथा सीड वुमन के नाम से जानी जाती हैं। हसमुख व विनम्र राहीबाई ने अपने गांव कोमलने की मिट्टी और सभी किसानों को अपना पुरस्कार समर्पित किया है। बीबीसी द्वारा 2018 में प्रकाशित विश्व की 100 प्रतिभाशाली महिलाओं की सूची में आपका स्थान रहा है। जो महिलाएं परिस्थिति से संघर्ष करते हुए कभी निराश होती हैं तो कभी असफल महसूस करती हैं, राहीबाई उन तमाम महिलाओं के लिए तथा हमारे लिए प्रेरणा स्रोत हैं। हम सभी आपकी उपस्थिति से गौरवान्वित महसूस कर रहे हैं। महिला सशक्तिकरण तथा विज्ञान व तकनीकी का अनोखा उदाहरण पेश करने वाली आदरणीय राहीबाई जी का स्वागत करने हेतु डॉक्टर पुनीता तिवारी को आमंत्रित करती हूँ। आदरणीय राहीबाई जी।
यश काय ना हाँ यश काय एक जन
यहाँ से स्पीकर बंद करना।
ये जब तक अनलॉक नहीं होगा ना तो बंद नहीं होगा। एक सेकंड।
धन्यवाद मैडम। महिला भारतीय विज्ञान कांग्रेस किरण की सलाहकार डीएसटी डॉक्टर निशा मेंदीदत्ता जी उपस्थित हैं। मैं डॉक्टर अनीता चंदवानी मैडम से अनुरोध करती हूं कि वे निशा जी का स्वागत करें। धन्यवाद मैडम। डॉक्टर एस रामकृष्ण जी का भी हम सहर्ष स्वागत करते हैं। डॉक्टर कल्पना पांडे जी से निवेदन है कि वे डॉक्टर रामकृष्ण जी का स्वागत करें। आप आईसीसीए के जनरल सेक्रेटरी मेंबरशिप अफेयर हैं। डॉक्टर रामकृष्ण जी।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. This event is organized in the guidance of Honorable Vice Chancellor, Rashtrasant Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur, Dr. Subhash Chaudhary, sir. May I call upon Dr. Manju Dubey to welcome Honorable Vice Chancellor, Rashtrasant Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur.
धन्यवाद मैडम। डॉक्टर अमीशी अरोरा जी से विनम्र अनुरोध है कि महिला विज्ञान कांग्रेस की संयोजिका आदरणीय कल्पना पांडे जी का स्वागत करें।
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's an humble request to Dr. Ramakrishna ji to give welcome address on the occasion of inauguration of Women's Science Congress 2023. Dr. Ramakrishna ji.
Very good afternoon, all of you. Honorable dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, council members of Indian Science Congress Association, invitees, local secretaries, and members of the local organizing committee of 108 Indian Science Congress, distinguished speakers, delegates, and ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely happy to welcome the General President of the Indian Science Congress Association, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi Saxena ji, to preside over this inaugural session of the Women's Science Congress. In fact, Madam Vijay Lakshmi Saxena ji has initiated and instrumental in organizing Women's Science Congress for the first time in 2012 when she was General Secretary Scientific Affairs. I deem it is my great fortune to welcome an esteemed social worker, Srimati Kanchan Gadkari ji. Madam is an incredible example of women empowerment and a great source of inspiration for all women. We are privileged to have her among us today as chief guest. I welcome you, Madam. I am very happy to welcome Padma Shri awardee, seed mother, Mrs. Rahi Bai Popre ji, farmer, conservationist. I welcome you, Madam. I am happy to welcome Srimati Nisha Mendirata, advisor, WIC, Kiran Division, Department of Science and Technology, New Delhi. I am delighted to welcome Dr. Subhash Chaudhary, Vice Chancellor of RTM Nagpur University and Chairman of 108 Indian Science Congress Organizing Committee, for successfully organizing all the events of 108 Indian Science Congress at Nagpur, a grand success. I welcome you, sir. I also welcome very dynamic, humble, and courageous woman, Dr. Kalpana Pandey ji, convener of Women's Science Congress. I welcome you, madam. I am extremely happy to invite all the council members of ISCA, local secretaries of 108 Indian Science Congress, Professor Rajesh Singh and Govardhan Kadekar, and invited speakers, delegates, and all the participants of this meet. I would be failing in my duties. It is if I do not invite members of the press and electronic media for wide coverage of the entire 108 Indian Science Congress at Nagpur. As this is a Women's Science Congress, the role of press is very important and significant in conveying recent advancement of women in science and technology and education. I once again welcome all of you. I welcome one and all for this event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your warm words. It's a request to Dr. Kalpana Pandeyji, convener of Women's Science Congress, to express her valuable views on this occasion. Dr. Kalpana Ji Pandey.
आज के इस महिला विज्ञान परिषद के अध्यक्षा, भारतीय विज्ञान परिषद की अध्यक्षा डॉक्टर विजयलक्ष्मी जी, हमारे बीच उपस्थित हम सबकी परिचित और जिन्होंने एक बहुत ही अच्छा मुकाम सामाजिक सेवा में हम सब के सामने रखा है, ऐसी माननीय कांचनताई गडकरी, राहीबाई पोफरे के नाम से अब हम सब परिचित हो रहे हैं। उनका कितना बड़ा काम है ये लगातार हम बताते जा रहे हैं कि एक सामान्य महिला और असामान्य काम कैसे कर सकती है। हम सब लोग सोचते हैं कि हम ये कर लें, हम वो कर लें, हम वो कर लें, लेकिन एकदम सामान्य से, जिसे हम कहते हैं कि अशिक्षित और ग्रामीण परिवेश की महिला संपूर्ण विश्व का ध्यान अपनी ओर खींच सकती है अपने असाधारण काम से। इसका उदाहरण राहीबाई हमारे सामने हैं। निशा जी हैं, वैज्ञानिक हैं, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से रिप्रेजेंट कर रही हैं, वो यहाँ हम सबके बीच उपस्थित हैं, हम उनके बहुत आभारी हैं। डॉक्टर रामकृष्णन जी जो भारतीय विज्ञान परिषद के महामंत्री हैं, जिन्होंने अभी वेलकम स्पीच दिया, ये सारा का सारा आयोजन जिन्होंने 24/7 जिसे कहते हैं ऐसा काम करके और एक उत्कृष्ट ऐसा आयोजन हम सब के सामने रखा। हम सब यहाँ बैठे हुए जानते हैं कि आज पूरे प्रीमाइसेस में 50,000 विद्यार्थी हैं आज अभी, और ऐसे रोज हैं। ऐसे डॉक्टर सुभाष चौधरी, द वाइस चांसलर ऑफ नागपुर यूनिवर्सिटी, सारा श्रम उनका है, बहुत मेहनत है उनकी। यहाँ बैठे हुए बहुत सारे डिग्निटरीज हैं जो मुझे दिख रहे हैं, जिन्हें मैं जानती हूँ, सबका नाम लेना संभव नहीं है, और सभी महिलाएं जिन्हें हमने आमंत्रित किया और आप सब आई। सबसे पहले विजयलक्ष्मी जी, मैं आपका आभार इसलिए मानना चाहूँगी कि भारतीय इंडियन साइंस कांग्रेस में आपने विमेन साइंस कांग्रेस को एक विशेष मुकाम दिया है। कल मैं जब जानकारी ले रही थी तब पता चला ये 10वां साल है विमेन साइंस कांग्रेस का, और इस साल सबसे अधिक लगभग 5,000 रजिस्ट्रेशन सिर्फ विमेन साइंस कांग्रेस के हुए, इंडियन साइंस कांग्रेस के अलग हैं उसका। हाँ, अपने लिए तो तालियां बजा दीजिए। और आज का वातावरण थोड़ा कश्मीर नुमा हो रहा है, तो उस वातावरण का भी हम एक स्वागत करें। महिला और विज्ञान और शाश्वत विकास, इन बातों को लेकर यह आयोजन है। मूल रूप से मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ, प्रत्येक महिला, राहीबाई का एक उदाहरण हमारे सामने है, लेकिन यहाँ बैठी हुई प्रत्येक महिला ने अपने नानी और दादी को देखा होगा, उनका अप्रोच कितना साइंटिफिक होता था और उनके काम कितने मैनेज्ड होते थे। बहुत कम संसाधनों के साथ और बहुत उत्कृष्ट काम करने की जो क्षमता एक महिला में है, और विशेष रूप से भारतीय महिला में है, उसका यह आयोजन है, उसके सम्मान के लिए, और उसे आगे, बहुत आगे इसी दृष्टिकोण को लेकर जाना है। इस बात को लेकर यह आयोजन है। हमने सबने देखा मंगल मिशन कितना सफलतापूर्वक अकेले महिलाओं की टीम ने किया। मंगल मिशन तो बहुत बड़ी बात थी, बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि थी भारत सरकार के लिए, हम सब के लिए। अकेले मंगल मिशन का उल्लेख मैं इसलिए कर रही हूं कि वो हम सब ने अभी अभी देखा है। ऐसे ढेरों उदाहरण हम दे सकते हैं कि महिलाएं जब अपनी पूरी क्षमता और ताकत के साथ आती हैं, तब उसके साथ कितने असामान्य काम होते हैं। भारत इस चीज के लिए बिल्कुल भी किसी के ऊपर निर्भर वैज्ञानिक थी, यदि मैं लिस्ट पढ़ूंगी तो मुझे कम से कम आपको 1 घंटा देना होगा। गणितज्ञ और वैज्ञानिक महिलाएं थीं, वेद आज तो हैं ही हैं। उन सब का हम स्मरण करें। यहाँ बैठी हुई जितनी युवा महिलाएं और युवा प्रतिभाएं यहाँ जो बैठी हैं, उन सब के सामने हम एक आदर्श प्रस्तुत करें और भारत को विज्ञान
ते नाही शिकलं तर काही करता येत नाही, पण मला तरी वाटतं मी थोडी जर शिकेल असते तर आता मी कुठंतरी एखादी पाटी वाचली असती, मला थोडं हिंदी बोलता आलं असतं. पण आमच्या परिस्थितीमुळं, कारण माझ्या वडिलांची परिस्थिती खूप गरीब होती आणि आम्ही 8 भावंड होतो. आमच्या आई आम्हाला एक बहीण 7 महिन्याची असताना सोडून गेली आई. मग आईची माया नाही, वडिलांची खूप गरिबी, मग कशाचं शिक्षण आलंय. पण अशा परिस्थितीमध्ये आम्ही लहानचं मोठं झालो आणि संस्कार बाकी आमच्या वडिलांनी आम्हाला सगळे दिलेले, कारण त्यांनी शाळा नाही शिकवली पण संस्कार खूप शिकवले आणि तेच संस्कार घेऊन वडिलांच्या समाजापुढं मी मांडते. मग मी काय केलं, मी फक्त शेतीमध्ये काम करीत राहिले, लहानपणापासून शेतीत काम करीत राहिले. शेती सोडून मला काही माहीत नव्हतं आणि आमचं गाव असं दुर्गम आहे का अजून त्या गावाला रस्ते नाही आहेत. तिथं पाणी धडधड पडतं पण सगळं पाणी वाहून जातं. आता सध्या प्यायला पाणी नाही आहे. आम्हाला 3-3 हांडं डोक्यावर घेऊन 1-2 किलोमीटर पाणी व्हावं लागत आहे अजून डोक्यावर. अशा दुर्गम भागामध्ये मी एक काम सुरू केलं. मी काही दिवस ऊसतोडी कामदार होते आणि काही दिवस ऊस टायर कारखान्याला काम केलं, काही दिवस गुराळावर काम केलं आणि माझं लहानपण असं एक तर गरिबीत गेलं. माझं लग्न झालं 12 वर्षीच, कारण त्या टायमाला खूप लवकर लग्न करून देत होते आणि खेड्यापाड्यामध्ये एवढा काही विषय नव्हता. लग्न झाल्याच्या नंतर मला इकडं पण खूप गरिबी आली. गरीब घरच होतं आणि त्याच्यामध्ये माणसं खूप खडतर होते. पण माझ्या पतीबरोबर मी एक काम करायला सुरुवात केली आणि एक गाईच्या गोठ्यामध्ये मी सगळं 40 हे माझं गाईच्या गोठ्यामधला सगळा प्रवास. गाईच्या गोठ्यामध्ये मी 4 बाळांना जन्म पण दिला. हे माझं गाईच्या गोठ्यामधला सगळा प्रवास. आणि संध्याकाळचं जर डिलेवरी झाले तर सकाळचं मला सगळं काम करावं लागायचं. डोक्यावर पाणीला हंडासुद्धा आणावा लागायचा. दुसऱ्या दिवशी रस्त्याने जाताना महिला म्हणायच्या, तू कधी ग बाई डिलेवरी झाली, तू काल तर जशी तशीच होती ना, आज तर डिलेवरी होईल दिसती. मग मी सांगायचे का रात्री डिलेवरी व्हायचं. 5 दिवसाचे 12 दिवसाचे बाळ पाठीची बांधून मला शेतात काम करावं लागलं. पण हे का करावं लागलं, एवढा खडतर प्रवास का काढावा लागला, का हे आई वडिलांच्या नावासाठी सगळं. आता एखाद्या मुलीला जास्त सासरवास असला, थोडा जरी असला, जाऊ दे बाई दे सोडून आपण म्हणतो, आपण तुला दुसरं लग्न करून देऊ. पण पूर्वी असं नव्हतं. आई बापाचेच संस्कार जपायचे होते आणि आई वडील सांगल तेच ऐकत होते. मग माझ्या वडिलांनी मला तो आम्ही सांगितलं होतं, माझ्या वडिलांनी पण, गरिबी आली तर लाजायचं नाही, श्रीमंती आली तर माजायचं नाही, टाकीचं गाव सोसल्याशिवाय देवपणा येत नाही आणि कोणत्याही कामामध्ये मरून निघायचं पण सरून निघायचं नाही. हे आमच्या वडिलांचे संस्कार होते आणि तेच संस्कार मी एक एक शब्द डोक्यामध्ये ठेवून आज समाजापासून सांगते. मग वडिलांच्या घरी शेती काम करत होतं, इकडं पण शेती कामच करत होतो. पण काही दिवसांनी मी ऊसतोडी कामदार होते. मी गुराळावर काम केलं. पण मला लहानपणापासून समाजात काहीतरी काम करायची अपेक्षा होती. पण आपल्याला कोणाच घरी नाही, कोणच्या दारी नाही, कुठं जाऊन देते नाही, येऊन देते नाही. आणि माझं सासरण माहेर एकच काम आणि खूप दुर्गम गाव आहे ते. काय समाजात मी काम करणार आहे हो. मला नाही शाळा शिकले नाही, लिहिता येणार नाही, वाचता येईना. पण मग काही दिवसांनी मी बचत करायला सुरुवात केली आणि बचत गटात खूप अडचणी आल्या मला, कारण तर मी शिकलेलीच नाही. 10 रुपयापासून बचत गट करायला सुरुवात केली. मग 1 केला, 2 केले. माझं बँकेचं खातं सुद्धा पहिलं बचत गटातलंच बँकेमध्ये माहीत नव्हती. पण बँकेमध्ये खूप अडचणी आल्या, कारण शिक्षण मुली सचिव अधीक्षक राहायच्या. त्या टायमाला 10 रुपयापासून बचत गट सुरू केला. पण निमे पैसे बँकेत भरायचे, निमे आपल्या घर खर्चाला वापरायचे, कारण ते नव्हते ना. मग त्या टायमाला एक रात्रीची शाळा निघाली होती आणि आमची एक वाडी वस्ती होती, एक पोपेरवाडी म्हणून एक गाव म्हणून होतं कोंबळानं, आणि आम्ही त्या वस्तीवर राहत होतो. मग ते सर्व पायी वाटाणा जायचे यायचे ते. तेव्हा रात्रीच्या शाळा निघाल्या. मला तर वाटलं का आपण थोडी सही शिकावा किंवा आपल्याला सही करता येईल, आपल्याला समोरची पाटी वाचता येईल. ते म्हणे चालेल शिकू. म्हणले आमच्या इथं सगळ्या महिला शिकलेल्या नाहीच आहेत. मग एक पहिल्या दिवशी आले ते सर, त्या दिवशी मला नुसत्या बाया गोळा करताच गेलं. दुसऱ्या दिवशी आले, पहिल्या दिवशी 25 बाया आल्या, दुसऱ्या दिवशी 50 आल्या आणि तिसऱ्या दिवशी डायरेक्ट 100-150 बाया आल्या. पण तिसऱ्या दिवशी असा प्रकार झाला का सर गावातून येत होते वाडीला, तिथं शाळा भरायची होती आणि येता येता त्यांना 2 वाघ दिसले. 2 वाघ दिसले सर तिथूनच मागं गेले. आम्ही हाय 12 वाजले, 1 वाजला, 2 वाजलं, हाय महिला 100-150 महिला एका छोट्याशा शाळेमध्ये जमा होईल. म्हणले चल बाय आता काहीतरी झालं असलं, आपण आज नाही आले सर तर उद्या येतील. सकाळचं मी गेले सरांना विचारायला, नाही म्हणे मावशी मी नाही येणार. का हो म्हणे तिथं आम्हाला रस्त्यानं 2 वाघ भेटले, लय मोठाले 2 वाघ आमच्या समोर. आम्हाला कुणीकडं पळावं हे काही कळना आणि मागं जावं का पुढं जावं हे पण कळना. आजपासून आम्ही शिकायला येणार नाही. मग आता राहिलो सगळ्या आडाने. त्या टायमाला थोडं 8 दिवस शिकवलं असतं तरी पण थोडं शिकलो असतं. मग हे काम करत असताना हायब्रिड खाण्याचा, गावठी खाण्याचा, केमिकल खतांचा, औषधांचा मी माझ्याच घरात अनुभव घेतला. माझ्या घरात थोडे आजार वाढू लागले. मला 10-20 किलोमीटर पायी जावं लागायचं आणि पायी त्या रस्त्याने जात होता, माझ्या डोक्यात विचार आला, घरात आजार नव्हते येतात कुठून. मी घरी आले, दुसऱ्या दिवशी माझ्या सगळ्या शेतामध्ये फिरले आणि एका बांधावर बसले आंब्याच्या झाडाखाली आणि त्या बांधावर बसून मी असा अभ्यास केला का आपल्या घरामध्ये आजार ह्या केमिकल खतांमुळं. मग मी त्या बांधावर बसून अभ्यास केला. आपल्या शेतीमध्ये पहिलं आपण कोणतं बी पेरीत होतो, आता कोणतं पेरितोय. आपल्या शेतीत आपण कोणते पिकं घेत होतो, आता काय पिकं घेतोय. त्याला कोणते खत औषधे देत होतो पहिले, आता कोणते देतोय. हा मी एका बांधावर बसून अभ्यास केला आणि बांधावर बसून त्याच बांधावर बसून माझ्या लक्षात आलं का केमिकल खतांमुळं औषधांमुळं घरात आजार घुसू लागले म्हणून. मग आजार सुरू झाले. मी माझ्या घरातलं बंद करायला लागले. पण त्या टायमाला माझ्या घरातून मला खूप मोठा विरोध झाला, खूप मोठा विरोध झाला. मी थोड्या दिवस गप्प बसले. माझा एक नातू आजारी झाला आणि तो पार अकोला, संगमनेर, नाशिक, मुंबईला न्यावा लागला. तर त्या टायमाला त्याला 1.5 लाख रुपये लागले. तो मोठा प्रसंग माझ्या घरात घडला आणि मग नंतर माझं कुटुंब मी सांगेल तसं ऐकायला लागलं. मग मी सगळं सेंद्रिय पिकू लागले, सगळं देशी पिकू लागले. मग बाईप संस्थेची मला मदत भेटली. त्या मदतीनं आम्ही महिलांना शिकू लागलो. आम्ही घरच्या घरी गांडूळ खत बनवायचो, घरच्या घरी जीवामृत बनवायला लागलो, घरच्या घरी कीटकनाशक बनवायला लागलो आणि सगळं काही देशी बेनं पेरायला लागलो. तर आमच्या ग्रामीण भागामध्ये अजून महिना सकाळपर्यंत संध्याकाळपासून काम करतात आणि अजून 50-100 किलोचा बोजा डोक्यावर वाहतात. तसं शहरामध्ये काय राहिलंच नाही, कारण शहरामध्ये खाणंच नाही, जेवण चांगलं राहिलं नाही. मग मी एक सांगते, आपण पूर्वी काय खात होतो, आता काय खातोय हा विचार कोणी करीत नाही आणि हाच विचार आम्ही केला पाहिजे. आपल्या ताटामध्ये पहिल्या रानभाज्या होत्या, पहिल्या कंदमुळ्यांच्या भाज्या होत्या आणि जंगलातल्या भाज्यांमध्ये एवढी ताकद आहे का जंगलातली एक एक भाजी एक एक औषधी वनस्पती आहे, पण ते आपण ठेवल्याच नाही शेतामध्ये. आपल्या शेतात होते, आपण तणनाशक मारून सगळ्या त्या भाज्या पण मारून टाकल्या आणि डोंगराला तर कोणी जातच नाही. तर काही ठिकाणी डोंगर असतीलही, पण तिथं सुद्धा त्या भाजीच्या आता रानभाज्या काय आहेत ह्या आताच्या पिढीला माहीत सुद्धा नाही, त्याची ओळख सुद्धा नाही, देशी बियाची सुद्धा ओळख नाही. आता मी येता पाहिलं बऱ्याच ठिकाणी, काही ठिकाणी नुसता ऊस आहे, काही ठिकाणी नुसती तूर, हरभरा. मग आपण जे पिकं होते सगळे हे सगळे घेतले पाहिजे, सगळे केले पाहिजे. माझ्या पिकं 154 वाहनाचं 153 वाहनाचं रजिस्ट्रेशन झालेलं सुरुवातीला आणि आता एक कळसुबाई एक कमिटी आम्ही स्थापन केली, एक कळसुबाई संवर्धन समिती स्थापन केली आणि त्या शेतकऱ्यांच्या मदतीनं आता भरपूर काही जुने वाहन झालेत. मग आजचं काम म्हणलं तर मी 3,500 महिलांबरोबर काम करते. 150-200 गावांमध्ये, प्रत्येक गावामध्ये 50, 100, 200, 300 असे शेतकरी पण तयार केले आणि आम्हाला बाईप संस्थेची खूप मोठी मदत भेटली. त्या बाईपच्या मदतीनं काही ते आम्हाला मार्गदर्शन करतात, काही थोडीफार गरीब लोकांना मदत पण की त्यांची भरपूर झाली आणि मग त्यांच्या मदतीनं हे गावोगाव जातो, गावोगाव शिकतो. आता मी जरी शिकले नाही पण मला प्रत्येक गावात जाऊन हे शेतकऱ्यांना शिकवलं. मी काय केलं, माझ्या शेतामध्ये असे बचत गटाच्या महिला आणल्या, काही शेतकरी आले, काय गावठी कसं पीक येतंय, हायब्रिड कसं येतंय. मी 4 जाती गावठी भात लावले, 4 जाती हायब्रिड भात लावले, खत कोणतंच दिलं नाही. पण रासायनिक खत नाही दिल्यामुळं जे हायब्रिड होते त्याला लोंबी आली नाही, जे गावठी होते त्याला दाणे आले. का तर ते जुनं ते सोनं आहे, ते स्वतःच्या ताकदीवर येतं, ते हवेवर येतं, पण ते आपण ठेवलंच नाही. आपण सगळे पैसे द्यायचे, सगळं बी बाजारातून आणायचं, मग त्याला खतं तेवढे वापरायचे, औषधं तेवढे वापरायचे. नाही पीक आला, नाही बाजारभाव भेटला तर शेतकरी कर्जबाजारी होतो आणि मग तो शेतकरी आत्महत्या करतो. मग आत्महत्या जर करायचं असेल, आत्महत्या जर थांबवायच्या असेल तर आपण परत जुन्याकडे वळलं पाहिजे. आपलं जुनं ते सोनं होतं ते शेतामध्ये आणलं पाहिजे, ते स्वतःच्या ताकदीवर येतं, हवेवर येतं. आणि मी जाता जाता एक सांगते शेतकरी बंधूंना, आपण सगळं निसर्गाला विसरलोय. म्हणून आता आपण निसर्गाला विसरलो आपण, म्हणून निसर्गसुद्धा आता कधी पाऊस पडतो आणि कधी येतो. आपण निसर्गाला धरून पीक घेत नाही, आपण निसर्गाला धरून बी पेरीत नाही. आपण कोणतंही पीक कधी घेतो, उन्हाळ्याचं पीक पावसाळ्याने, पावसाळी पीक उन्हाळी घेतो. मग आपण बदललो म्हणून निसर्ग बदलले, तर आता इथून पुढं आपण सुद्धा बदलू नका. आपली पुढची पिढीसाठी आपण काय केलं पाहिजे हा तुम्ही आम्ही सगळे विचार करा. आणि हाच विचार करून मी आज समाजापुढं उभी राहते, समाजापुढं सांगते. मग हे माझं एकटीचं काम नाही आहे. मी म्हणते, मी एक सीड बँका एका झोपडीमध्ये 22 वर्षे केली आणि 22 वर्षे एका झोपडीत बीज बँका केल्या. हो, माझ्याकडं भरपूर विद्यार्थी येत, भरपूर पाहुणे येत, वर डोक्याला लागायचं, खाली बसायला जागा नसायची. मग पुण्यामध्ये एक असा कार्यक्रम होता, पुरस्कार. त्या पुरस्कारामध्ये मी बोलले, चंद्रकांत दादांच्या हातची पुरस्कार होता का. हे पुरस्कार घेऊन लोक लय मन व्यक्त करत, इडं भेटला, तिडं भेटला, 2 भेटले, 4 भेटले. मी म्हणले किती भेटले मला सांगता नाही येणार, पण यांना ठेवायला जागाच नाही म्हणलं घरामध्ये. काही उंदरा मांजरांनी लोटून फुटूनही गेले आणि मी फेकूनही दिले. मग हे पुरस्कार घेऊन काय करणार आहे मी, काय करणार आहे हो त्या पुरस्काराने, आणि काय होतंय त्या पुरस्कार घेऊन. मला त्या पुरस्काराची नाही अपेक्षा. माझं काम जेवढे लोक करतील, जेवढं मोठं होईल, तेवढं मला अभिमान आहे. मला पुरस्कार महाराष्ट्रातले अख्ख्या भेटले, महाराष्ट्राच्या बाहेरचे भेटले. पार महाराष्ट्राच्या बाहेर जाऊन आले, फक्त अमेरिका राहिले तेवढी, आणि कोरोना नसती तर तिथे जाऊन आले असते. पण ते पुरस्कार माझे तर मी कधीच मानणार नाही. का हो, दिसत नाही का? मग एखादं मायका असतं तर इकडे उभे राहिले असते ना. मी काय बोललं तर ऐकू येत आहे ना. नाही, मी चढते. आणि महाराष्ट्रात तर गेलेच, पण महाराष्ट्राच्या बाहेर सुद्धा गेले. मग माझं एक स्वप्न, हे जे DCB आहे, आता तुम्ही म्हणशाल मला काय ठिका दिले प्रश्न विचारितात, इथं नाही कोणी विचारला. मी मागाशी बोलले कोणीतरी प्रश्न विचारील म्हणलं, मला कोणाला विचारायचं असेल तर विचार घ्या, पण मला नाही कोणी विचारला. मग तुम्ही माझ्याकडं 18 जातीचे वालगेवडे, 19 जातीचे वालगेवडे, 16 जातीचे भात, ही गावठी तूर, बारीक तूर, मोठी तूर, नाचणी, वरई, उडीद, मूग, कारली, दोडका, घोसाळा, पालक, मेथी, भेंडी, गवार, हे सगळं काही बियाणं मी लावून धरले. काही रानभाज्या सुद्धा कंदमुळं घरापाशी आणून केलेत. काही रानभाज्याचं बी सुद्धा मी कव्हर केले. मग माक भरपूर लोक न्यायला येतात, दररोज घरी माणसं आहेत. आणि आम्ही एक कमिटी तयार केली. त्या कमिटीच्या मार्फत गेल्या वर्षी जवळजवळ 50 लाखाचं बी विकले, सगळ्या कमिटीच्या मार्फत. आणि जेवढी हे लोक केलेत तेवढ्याची निसर्ग शेती आहे. सेंद्र प्रत्येकाच्या घरी किचन गार्डन, प्रत्येकाच्या घरापाशी परसबाग शिकवलं. मग तिथं आता परसबाग आहे तर 4 महिने 8 महिने नुसतं वरच्या पावसावर तरी घरची भाजी खातात. आणि काही त्या रानभाज्याच वाळून ठेवतात आणि त्या उन्हाळ्याचं खातात. मग आपण तर आपल्याकडं पाणी भरपूर आहे, आपण का नाही करू. पूर्वी आजोबाई होते, आजोबा होते, बाजरी असली तर बाजरीचे कणस निवडून ठेवायचे, ज्वारी असले तर ज्वारीचे कणस बियासाठी निवडून ठेवते. आता कोणी ठेवीतच नाही. आमच्याकडं मातीचे मडके, हे बी कसं राहील, खाण्यासाठी 10 वर्षे दाणे राहतात, पण ते मातीच्या राखेमध्ये ठेवलं पाहिजे. आणि राखेमध्ये 3 वर्षे उगवून जशी तशीच राहते. आमच्याकडे 1 वर्ष नाही पिकलं, दुसऱ्या वर्षी नाही पिकलं, तरी तिसऱ्या वर्षी घरातलंच बी आम्ही लावितो आणि घरातलंच बी पेरितो, पण दुकानातून कवाच आणत नाही. मग असं तुम्ही जर आम्ही केलं तर का नाही व्हायचं. मग माझं एक स्वप्न आहे, प्रत्येक गावामध्ये एक रायबाई तयार झाली पाहिजे. प्रत्येक गावामध्ये पैशाच्या बँका भरपूर आहेत, प्रत्येक गावामध्ये पैशाच्या बँका भरपूर आहेत. तशी प्रत्येक गावात एक बियाची बँका तयार झाली पाहिजे. जे गावरान बी आहे प्रत्येकाच्या बांधापासोर गेलं पाहिजे, प्रत्येकाच्या शेतापासोर गेलं पाहिजे, प्रत्येकाच्या घरात, प्रत्येकाच्या दारात किचन गार्डन पाहिजे, परसबाग पाहिजे. आणि प्रत्येकाचं ताट विषमुक्त खाण्यात आलं पाहिजे, विषमुक्त ताट झालं पाहिजे. ज्या दिवशी विषमुक्त ताट होईल आणि माझा शेतकरी आजारापासून दूर होईल, त्या दिवशी म्हणायचं का माझं काम मोठं झालं. माझं नाव मोठं असून काही उपयोग नाही आहे. भरपूर लोक म्हणते एवढे पुरस्कार, नारी शक्ती, पद्मश्री सगळ्या महाराष्ट्रातले, पण हे पुरस्कार माझे नाही. हे पुरस्कार ह्या काळ्या मातीचे, माझ्या बियाचे आणि माझ्या शेतकरी बांधवांचे पुरस्कार आहेत. हे मी पुरस्कार घेताना गेले तिथं, म्हणजे पद्मश्री पुरस्कार घ्यायला गेले, नारी शक्ती पुरस्कार घेतला, तर माझं काम मी मोदीला सांगितलं. अशी मी सीड बँका तयार केली अकोला तालुक्यामध्ये, कोंबाणे गावामध्ये. आणि मग पद्मश्री पुरस्कार घ्यायला गेले तर मी चप्पल बाहेर ठेवली आणि पुरस्कार घ्यायला गेले. सगळे लोक हाय पाय गेले, सगळे पुरस्कार घ्यायला, प्रत्येकाच्या पायात बूट चप्पल. मला म्हणे का हो तुम्ही चप्पल नाही वापरते का? राष्ट्रपती बोलले. म्हणले वापरितो. मग आता का बरं तुमच्या पायात चप्पल नाही? सगळ्यांच्या पायात चप्पल आहे. म्हणले आमची भारतीय संस्कृती एक आम्ही जपलेलं आहे. अजून घरात गेलं तर चप्पल बाहेर, मंदिरात गेलं तर चप्पल बाहेर, मग इथे माझी चप्पल बाहेरच आहे. म्हणे तुमची खूप मोठी भारतीय संस्कृती जपेल आहे तुम्ही, आणि तुमचा दुसरा पुरस्कार आहे माझ्या हाताने. म्हणलं हो, तुमच्या कामाला खूप सलाम. म्हणे तुम्ही म्हणता का मी शिकलेली नाही, पण तुम्ही एक जगाला वेगळी दिशा दाखवली, जगाला वेगळं काम करून दाखवलं. म्हणले काय नाही सर, मला फक्त विषमुक्त जग करायचं आहे, बाकी काहीच नाही आहे. हे काम म्हणे कोणी शोधलं नसतं. नंतर अशी मी उभी होते, तिकून मोदी आले. मला म्हणतात काय सीड मदर, बीज माता, कसं काय काम चालू आहे तुमचं? म्हणले बरं चालू आहे, तुम्ही तर येणार होते ना भेटायला. म्हणे कोरोनाने नाही येऊन दिलं. म्हणले मग आता संपले कोरोना, आम्ही इथपर्यंत आले, तुम्हाला काय अडचण आहे तिथं यायला? येऊ म्हणे कधीतरी येऊ आम्ही. त्यांनी पण खूप कौतुक केलं त्या कामाचं. आम्ही पैशासाठी काम केलं म्हणे, तुम्ही समाजासाठी केलं, हे तुमच्या कसं लक्षात आलं? तुम्हाला कोणी सांगितलं? म्हणलं मला कोणी नाही सांगितलं, माझी मीच सुरू केलं. मग तुम्हाला मार्गदर्शन कोणाचं? म्हणले फक्त माझ्या वडिलांचं. माझ्या वडिलांना माहीत नव्हतं का एवढं मोठं काम होईल, पण फक्त त्यांनी समाजात कसं वागायचं, आणि हे शेतीकाम मला लहानपणापासून माहिती होतं. म्हणले मला सगळं शेतीचं माहिती, जे जुनं ते सोड हे नाहीचं होत चालू होतं ना, हे फक्त मी गोळा करून सुरू केलं आणि हे समाजापुढं मांडलं. आणि हे समाजाने आम्ही सगळ्यांनी केलं पाहिजे. आता माझ्या इथं असं थोडंसं चंद्रकांत दादांनी घर बांधून दिलंय, तर थोडंसं कसं बांधलंय. माझ्या इथं पक्षी भरपूर आहेत बरं का हो, पक्षीसुद्धा भरपूर आहेत तिथं. मी अशी लाकडाचे असे घरं बांधलेले बांबूचे, आणि ते असे बघ लावलेले आहेत घराला. त्याच्यामध्ये चिमणी पाखरू माहीत आहे ना, चिमण्या पहिल्या किती गावामध्ये चिमण्या राहायच्या, गलोनी राहायच्या. आता चिमण्यासुद्धा राहिल्या नाही, पण माझ्या इकडं 400-500 चिमण्यांचा असा कळप आहे. त्या चिमण्या तिथं येऊन पिलं काढतात, बाहेरचे पक्षी येऊन तिथं मुक्काम करतात, ते सुद्धा पिलं काढतात. म्हणजे ते जवळजवळ 400-500 चिमण्या पाळलेल्या आहेत म्या. माझे सगळे प्राण्यांवर सुद्धा माझं जास्त प्रेम आहे, कारण मी निसर्गामध्ये जेवढं आहे ना तेवढं पण मला आवडत आहे. मी देशी गाई पाळलेले आहेत, देशी म्हशी आहेत, शेळ्या आहेत, कोंबड्या आहेत, कुत्रे, मांजरे, म्हणजे मला प्राणीसुद्धा मी सगळे पाळलेले आहेत. आणि सगळ्यांना मला सगळं काही पाळायला आवडतं. आणि पण एवढे दुर्गम भागामध्ये का अजून त्या गावाला रस्तासुद्धा नाही आहे, पाणीसुद्धा प्यायला उन्हाळ्याची नाही आहे, पण आता खूप लोक येतात. आणि मी ज्या टायमाला त्या घराचं उद्घाटन होतं त्या टायमाला चंद्रकांत दादा उद्घाटनाला येणार होते. मी म्हणले आमच्या खेड्यातल्या महिला वरून जाताना इमान पाहत्या हेलिकॉप्टर, म्हणा तुम्हाला यायचं असेल तर इरस हेलिकॉप्टर उतरावा तरच उद्घाटनाला या, नाही तर येऊ नका. त्यांनी ते तिथं समोर घरासमोर हेलिकॉप्टर उतरावलं. आमच्या बाईप संस्थेने डांगी जनावरांचं प्रदक्षिण तिथं भरावलं आणि ते तिथं उद्घाटनाला आले. आणि त्या दिवसापासून त्यांनी एक बहीण म्हणून भेट दिली त्या घराचं नाथं लावून, आणि तेव्हापासून मी एक बहीण म्हणून त्यांची आहे. तर हे काम सांगते. आता हे काम तुम्ही नुसतं ऐकूच नका, हे सगळं काय तुम्ही केलं पाहिजे. तुम्ही सुद्धा ह्या कामामध्ये सहभाग घेतला पाहिजे. आपल्या पुढच्या पिढीचा विचार केला पाहिजे. आपली पुढची पिढी शिवाजी महाराजांसारखे आपले मुलं घडले पाहिजे, जिजामातासारखे आपल्या मुली घडल्या पाहिजे. याच्यासाठी मी हे काम सुरू केलं आहे. तर याच्यामध्ये तुमची आमची सगळ्याची मदत आहे. आणि ह्याच ठिकाणी मला तुम्ही बोलवलं तर तुमचं खूप खूप आभार मानते, धन्यवाद देते आणि इथंच थांबते. जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र.
धन्यवाद राहीजी. बीजमाता राहीजी, तुमच्या अलौकिक कार्याने आम्ही सर्वच खूप प्रोत्साहित झालो आहोत. तुमच्या कार्याला आमचा सगळ्यांचा सलाम. Rahiji's autobiographical remarks are really very motivational to all of us. we are really impressed and inspired by this seed mother, Rahiji. Along with Rahibai, we all are honored with the presence of Mrs. Kanchanji Gadkari. I request Kanchanji Gadkari, Head Seva Sadan Sanstha, to deliberate on women empowerment with her inspiring words. Mrs. Kanchanji Gadkari.
नमस्कार. आदरणीय व्यासपीठ आणि इथे जमलेले सर्व माझे बंधूंनो आणि भगिनींनो, या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः. या सगळ्या स्त्री शक्तीला माझा मानाचा मुजरा. आत्ताच काहीबाईंनी सांगितलं की जुनं ते सोनं. खरोखर आपल्या भारत देशाला एक कर्तृत्व, मातृत्व आणि नेतृत्व अशी एक छान झालर असलेली संस्कृती लाभलेली आहे. झाशीची राणी लक्ष्मीबाई, पहिल्या डॉक्टर आनंदीबाई जोशी, अहिल्याबाई होळकर आणि जिचं मातृत्व गाजलं अशा जिजामाता. आणि त्या शृंखलेमध्ये आज आपण पण या भारत देशामध्ये, या भारताच्या मातीमध्ये जन्माला आलो आहे. आणि खरोखर मला अभिमान वाटतो की माझा जन्म भारत देशात झालेला आहे. पण या भारत देशामध्ये नवीन जी पिढी आहे, आपली पिढी जाऊन आता म्हणजे मी पण आता 60 वर्षाची होऊन गेली आहे. पण मी जेव्हा तरुण होती त्यावेळेला कुठलाही प्रश्न विचारल्यानंतर असं का हे मी विचारत नव्हती किंवा आपली पिढी विचारत नव्हती. पण नवीन जी जनरेशन आहे त्याला प्रत्येकाला विज्ञानाची जोड लागते, त्याला कारण लागते. कुठलाही प्रश्न समजा नवीन पिढीला केला तर त्या म्हणतात असं का. मग त्याला जर सायंटिफिक रिझन दिलं, त्याला जर विज्ञानाची जोड दिली तर नवीन पिढी ते ऐकते, समजते, त्याच्यामध्ये अभ्यास करते आणि मग त्याच्यावरती विश्वास ठेवते. एक साधं उदाहरण तुम्हाला द्यावंसं वाटतं की आपण प्रत्येकाच्या घरामध्ये पहिले तुळशीचे रोपं होते, तुळस वृंदावन होतं. आणि आता जर नवीन पिढ्या जेव्हा समजून सांगू की तुळस का अंगणामध्ये लावायची, तर त्या तुळशीमुळे आपल्याला ऑक्सिजन मिळतो, तुळशीमुळे हवा शुद्ध राहते आणि म्हणून आपल्या अंगणामध्ये तुळस हवी. रांगोळी का काढायची हो आपल्या दरवाजासमोर, मग त्याच्या मागे पण एक सायंटिफिक रिझन आहे. जेव्हा रांगोळी, रंग, त्या रांगोळीतले सगळे स्वस्तिक, गोपद्म, शंख, गदा हे सगळं जेव्हा आपण बघतो तेव्हा कितीही दुष्ट विचारांचा माणूस आपल्या जर घरामध्ये येत असेल, आपला उंबरठा ओलांडत असेल, तर ते सगळी चिन्ह बघून, ती सुंदर रांगोळी बघून, ते सुंदर रंग बघून त्याच्या मनातला दुष्ट विचार बाहेर जातो, नष्ट होतो, त्याची निगेटिव्हिटी नष्ट होते, त्याच्या मनात सकारात्मक विचार येतो, पॉझिटिव्हिटी त्याच्या मनामध्ये येते आणि मग तो त्या घरामध्ये एंट्री करतो, प्रवेश करतो. असं जर प्रत्येक गोष्टीला विज्ञान आहे, प्रत्येक गोष्टीमागे विज्ञान आहे आणि त्याचा विज्ञानाचा सायंटिफिकली ते प्रूव्ह झालं आहे आता. आणि त्यामुळे आपले जे भारतीय कल्चर आहे, आपली जी भारतीय संस्कृती आहे, ती जर नवीन पिढीला द्यायची असेल तर प्रत्येक याला विज्ञानाची जोड, त्याला कारण सांगून ते विचार आपण नवीन पिढीमध्ये संक्रमित केले पाहिजे. अशा अनेक गोष्टी आहेत की मला असं वाटतं की आपण स्त्रियांनी त्या कालानुरूप प्रत्येक वेळेला म्हणतो आपण की काय जुनं झालं, हे काय बघायचं आहे. पण आता राहीबाईंनी तेच सांगितलं की जुनं ते सोनं. प्रत्येक जुन्या गोष्टीला सायंटिफिक आधार आहे. साधं सांगायचं की आपल्याकडे आयुर्वेदिक भरपूर औषधं आहेत आणि पहिल्यांच्या काळात प्रत्येक स्त्रीला साधारण 7 ते 8, 9, 10 मुलं व्हायची, पण तिची तब्येत नाही बिघडायची हो. कारण काय, तर ती आयुर्वेदिक काढे घ्यायची, आयुर्वेदिक औषधे घ्यायची आणि जे जुनं आहे ते सगळं पाळायची आणि त्याच्यामुळे तिची तब्येत सशक्त राहायची. बघा, आपल्याला स्त्रियांना एक वेगळा गुण दिला निसर्गाने, तो म्हणजे पुनरुज्जीविता. आपल्याला आपण जीव जन्माला घालू शकतो. ते एक निसर्गाने आपल्याला दिलेलं वरदान आहे. आपण माता बनू शकतो. मग तो माता बनण्यासाठी आपलं गर्भाशय चांगलं व्हायला पाहिजे. त्यासाठी सुद्धा आयुर्वेदामध्ये नियम आहे. तर पहिले ताब्यावरती बसून आपण आपल्या मनासारखं वागतो आणि पाश्चात्य विचारांचा पगडा आपल्या मनावरती आल्यामुळे आपण ते फॉलो करतो. पण त्यामुळे आज मेडिकल सायन्समध्ये सुद्धा अनेक रोगराई झालेली आहे, अनेक त्याच्यामध्ये प्रॉब्लेम्स क्रिएट झाले आहे. आणि पुन्हा आपण मागे वळतो की जुनं ते सोनं, की जुने जे आपले औषधं आहेत, जुने आपले आयुर्वेदिक वनस्पती आहेत, त्याच खरं तर त्याच्यावरती रिसर्च होऊन आपण त्या घेतल्या पाहिजे. आणि हे असं जुनं जे नॉलेज आहे ते नवीन पिढीकडे संक्रमण देताना मला असं वाटतं त्याला जर विज्ञानाचा आधार दिला, विज्ञानाची जोड दिली, तर नवीन पिढी नक्कीच ते आत्मसात करेल, समजून घेईल. आणि आपलं जे कल्चर आहे, जी आपली भारतीय संस्कृती आहे, ती भारतीय संस्कृती ही नवीन पिढीला जर विज्ञानासकट जर त्यांना जर सांगितलं, ती ही नवीन भारतीय संस्कृती नवीन पिढीला आपण प्रदान देऊ शकतो, त्यांच्या हातात सोपवू शकतो. पण ते सगळं करतानासाठी आपला संवाद चांगला पाहिजे. घरी आणि मुलीचा संवाद चांगला पाहिजे. पण नेमकं आज सगळ्या कुटुंबामध्ये संवादच हरपलेला आहे. पैसा खूप स्वस्त झाला आणि माणसं महाग झालेत. घराघरातला हा संवाद निशब्द झालेला आहे. सगळे व्हॉट्सअपवरती बोलतात आहे, सगळे फोनवरती सगळं ॲप यूज करून सगळं फोनवरती बोलतात आहे. आणि हा संवाद सुरू करणं, नवीन विचार, जुने विचार नवीन पिढीकडे संक्रमण करणं, हे सगळं कोण करू शकतं? तर हे घरातली स्त्रीच करू शकते. मग ती कितीही उच्च विद्याविभूषित असो, कितीही उच्च पदावरती असो, पण ती एक आदर्श स्त्री, आदर्श माता, आदर्श पत्नी, आदर्श सासू अशा अनेक भूमिकातून जेव्हा ती स्त्री जाते, ती स्त्रीच आपलं कुटुंब वाचवू शकते, कुटुंब चांगलं ठेवू शकते. मला तसं वाटतं की जसं आपल्या शरीरामध्ये हृदय काम करतं, तसं कुटुंबामध्ये स्त्री हे काम करत असतं. ज्या कुटुंबातली स्त्री चांगली, ते कुटुंब सुशिक्षित, सुसंस्कारित, सुसंघटित असं असतं. आणि असं कुटुंब चांगलं असेल तर ते असे अनेक कुटुंब येऊन तो देश, तो गाव, तो देश तो चांगला होतो. आणि हे सगळं करण्यासाठी आपण याला कारणीभूत आहोत. प्रत्येक स्त्रीने विचार केला पाहिजे की माझी भूमिका काय, मला काय करायचं आहे, मला काय व्हायचं आहे, मला काय संक्रमण करायचं आहे, मला काय नवीन पिढीला द्यायचं आहे. आणि याचा जर विचार, मनन, चिंतन आपण जर केलं, तर मला असं वाटतं आपण नक्कीच नवीन पिढीला आपल्याला जे द्यायचं आहे, जी आपली भारतीय संस्कृती आहे, ती भारतीय संस्कृती नवीन पिढीला आपल्याला त्यांच्या हातात द्यायची आहे. पण त्याला विज्ञानाचा जोड देऊन, विज्ञानाचा आधार घेऊन, तरच नवीन पिढीला आपली जुनी संस्कृती पटेल, समजेल आणि त्याच्यावरती विश्वास ठेवून ते काम करतील आहे. पण हे सगळं करायला आपल्याला शिवाजी घडवायचं आहे. आणि शिवाजी घडवताना आपल्याला जिजामाता व्हायचं आहे. आणि खरोखर जिजामाता व्हायचं असेल तरच आपण शिवाजी घडवू शकतो. आणि शिवाजी घडवला तरच आपला भारत देश पुन्हा चांगल्या उच्च पदावरती जाऊ शकतो. की जे आपल्या आज PM स्वप्न आहे की आपल्याला चांगला भारत देश घडवायचा आहे. भारत देश जेव्हाच चांगला घडेल की तेव्हा नवीन युवा पिढी चांगली असेल. ज्या देशाची युवा पिढी चांगली, तो देश चांगला. तशी युवा पिढी घडवणं काम हे आपल्या हातामध्ये आहे, एका स्त्रीच्या हातामध्ये आहे, एका मातेच्या हातामध्ये आहे. आणि म्हणून आपण उत्तम माता व्हायला शिकलं पाहिजे. आणि उत्तम माता होण्यासाठी मला असं वाटतं मातृत्वासारखं जिजाबाईचंच जे उदाहरण आहे ते उत्तम मातृत्व म्हणून त्यांनी उदाहरण जाहीरपणे सिद्ध केलेलं आहे. दोनच वेळी गुणगुणीन आणि शब्दाने विराम देईन. घरो घरो में बने जिजाऊ, घरों घरों में बने जिजाऊ, हर घर में शिवराय, केशव के यह हिंदू राष्ट्र का वचन व्यर्थ ना जाए, वचन व्यर्थ ना जाए। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद मैडम। कर्तृत्व, मातृत्व तथा नेतृत्व के उदाहरण देते हुए आपने हम सभी में भारतीय होने का अभिमान जागृत किया। हमारी भारतीय संस्कृति परंपराओं का आधार वैज्ञानिक है, उनका अपना महत्व है। यह बात बहुत सुंदर तरीके से आपने दी। धन्यवाद। डॉक्टर निशा मेंदिरता जी से विनम्र अनुरोध है कि इस महिला विज्ञान कांग्रेस के उद्घाटन समारोह में आपके विचार व्यक्त करें। डॉक्टर निशा मेंदिरता जी।
A very good afternoon to everyone, respected dignitaries on dais, participants of Women Science Congress, my dear colleagues, friends, and I could see many students who have gathered here to attend the special session. So I would like to just convey that it is one of the very important session which is being organized during 108th Indian Science Congress with a special theme on science and technology for sustainable development with women empowerment. As already we heard our previous speakers, they provided various facets with regard to the involvement of women in various aspects of life. I would like to give you a broad perspective of the scientific interventions or the opportunities which we are providing to various women to pursue their career in science and technology. As friends, I would like to say that women empowerment, we are talking about it, it is not just about making women stronger. It is about changing the way world perceives their strength. Women are powerful, they have a lot of strength, and a strong woman can make a family and also a nation very strong. But still there is a need to give them a kind of boosting. When we are talking about the field of science or science, I will particularly speak about STEM, science, technology, engineering and medicine. These are the areas in which our Indian women, they are doing brilliant work. But when we look into the statistic, overall statistic of the world, I mean, there is a statement which is said that India is far ahead of many other developed countries when we talk about the education. With regard to the tertiary education, Indian girls are doing, they are performing better than boys. I think we have reached the level of 55% when we are talking about the education. But when it comes to choosing the career, then there is a leaky pipeline. Why it is so? There are many challenges which girls are facing in our country, maybe because of many issues, social issues, and there are many more things which our societal issues are there, because of which we feel that science is not for girls to pursue as an active career. But that is not true. And I'm very happy to see that just now it was informed that in this session, 1/3 participation is from women candidates in the Indian Science Congress out of the total footfall. So that itself shows that almost 30% bracket we have reached when it comes to create awareness and also understand the scientific temperament. Our girls and women are keen to know what kind of initiatives are there and in what manner they can choose STEM. Their interest shows that. And also I was told that outside where the exhibition is there are many students and girl students who are very keen to know what kind of scientific interventions are on. And another statistic I would like to just share here, which came up recently, that the world average for women scientist participation is around 30% globally. And India is also slowly coming to the higher ladder. Earlier we were little below, but now 18% we have reached. And I must tell you here that there are various opportunities we are creating for women scientists and girls, especially Department of Science and Technology. We have, along with many other programs of Government of India, we have created a dedicated cell which is named as Women in Science and Technology, Vice Kiran, we have called it. It was initiated in the year 2014. And friends, I am very happy to share that at present there are more than 35,000 girls and women scientists who have got tremendous opportunity in terms of fellowships and also in terms of internship and hand-holding in science. We are giving them various opportunities in terms of capacity building. And also there are 17 women universities to whom we have given the R&D facilities from Department of Science and Technology. So these are certain things in which we are thinking that girls have a right through our overseas program. And third thing is the policy. Policy makes a very strong root in our country in terms of devising any charter for our stakeholders. Considering the requirement for women empowerment, about the nation's requirement in terms of sustainable development. So without speaking more, I think I would like to say that a strong woman knows she has strength enough for the journey, but a woman of strength knows it is a journey where she will become strong. A woman has that intention or the power to know that she is strong and she has to make others strong. So there should be an intrinsic belief in her, in herself. And in the recent Sustainable Development Goal Agenda, which was shared by UN states, it talks about having more and more participation of women in STEM, because they are the one who will look into the sustainable development requirements for the nation by contributing and also by giving them the strength. So we are really working towards it, and we feel that not only the government and other bodies, but even women herself has to come forward and take the goal, Sustainable Development Goal Agenda forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your expressions on the significance of women empowerment. Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais to release the souvenir.
धन्यवाद। डॉक्टर विजय लक्ष्मी जी से अनुरोध है कि वे अध्यक्षीय भाषण दें। डॉक्टर विजय लक्ष्मी।
Very good afternoon to all who are sitting here in this hall and being the witness of this 10th Women Science Congress. Madam Mrs. Kanchan Gadkari ji, the chief guest of our program, and the other dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, women scientists, council members, members of the faculty, dear to students, ladies and gentlemen, and media personals. Women's Science Congress actually is very close to my heart because as I am associated with the women and their problems since a long time and in solving their problems, I would like to begin my talk with the famous quotes of Swami Vivekananda. The best thermometer to the progress of a nation is its treatment of its women. Our right of interference is limited entirely Remember, in ancient Vedic times, there was absolutely no difference in the state of men and women. In the Vedic age, Dev Mata Aditi, Shachi, Satrupa, wife of Manu, Sandhya, Arundhati, Lopamudra, Maitre, Gargi, several reverted women have taken the places of rishis to knowledge and spirituality. Then why shall not our own daughters, sisters, or mothers have the same privilege now? As we all know, there is a famous proverb, history repeats itself. So, what and religious, perhaps more so any other woman in the world. If we can preserve these beautiful characteristics and at the same time develop the intellects of our women, the Indian women of the future will be the ideal women of the entire world. The highest of all feminine type in India is mother. Mother represents colorless love that knows no barrier, no barter, love that never dies. Who can have such love? Only and only mother. I am the power that manifests everywhere, says the mother. She is bringing out this universe. Our timeless Vedic scripts, Upanishad, Purans, and even Srimad Bhagavat has unequivocally mentioned God and the associated divine energy, be it in the form of Lord Shiva and Ma Parvati, Sri Radha and Sri Krishna, or Lord Ram and Ma Sita. Without Shakti, without power, there can be no regeneration for the world. If Shakti is dishonored, can the nation make progress? Hence, we all need to use our potential power to empower other women by rising above hatred, envy, suspicion, and other negative forces in order to attain and accomplish the impossible pursuits and accept every challenge formidably. Every one of you present here is aware of the fact that empowering women implies empowering society. Everything, every thought, and every behavioral approach that is meant to destroy her identity needs to be overcome. We all should know that women in multifarious spheres have been trendsetters and policy formulators with no limit to their accomplishments. That is the reason why this famous lines goes the round that empowering women does not come from selfishness or unhealthy competitions, but from selflessness. A nation's scientific and technological development prospect rests relevantly on innovative and entrepreneurial capabilities. And we all know that such potential and capabilities blossom only when empowerment of women is seriously taken care as well as concern of. Fortunately, our government has embarked on pursuing mission-based schemes, thereby endorsing its targeted and planned approach, serving as a driving force for the perception of a robust economy. Such schemes of a women-to-women development, startup, stand-up, Mudra Yojana, specifically where approximately 23 crore women availed entrepreneurial loans, Ujjwala Yojana imparting smoke-free lives for more than 15 crores poor women, Sukanya Samriddhi with financial security for girl child with 1.05 lakhs crores accounts until July 2021. Paid maternity leave extended from 12 to 26 weeks and boost to safe sanitation with construction of over 20.9 crores household toilets till February 2022. Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme, Mahila Haath scheme, Swadhar Grah scheme, Mahila Shakti Kendras are major initiatives towards the upliftment of Indian women. However, the question still remains that why the women are reluctant as far as self-reliant and decision-making is concerned. I think and I believe basically lack of communication at home, deterioration in moral values, and declining dismantled and raised by I'm confident that this science congress will provide a platform academicians and research each other to the overall help us to provide strength and satisfaction that we have embarked upon a journey which will forever very rewarding and fruitful to one and all. I pass on my thoughts, my feelings to you, the next generation. While we still live, let us join hands, hearts and mind together to work together for their solutions to develop a new and developed nation. Let me also take this opportunity to wish you a happy and Bharat Jai Vigyan. Thank you, one and all.
धन्यवाद मैडम, आपने सही कहा, आज आवश्यकता है जेंडर फ्री वर्ल्ड की। संयोजक, उपस्थित सहभागियों तथा सभी श्रोताओं का हृदय से आभार है। डॉक्टर विजय लक्ष्मी जी, श्रीमती कांचन गडकरी जी, पद्मश्री राईबाई, माननीय कुलगुरु सुभाष चौधरी जी, डॉक्टर कल्पना पांडे जी, आप सभी का अमूल्य मार्गदर्शन व समय देने हेतु बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद तथा हृदय से आभार करते हैं। साथ ही इस कार्यक्रम के आयोजन में प्रत्यक्ष व अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से कार्य करने वाले सभी कार्यकर्ताओं तथा संचार प्रसार माध्यम का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद तथा आभार। धन्यवाद। उद्घाटन समाप्ति की घोषणा करते हुए आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Dr. Nisha Mendiratta will chair it. She is the advisor, scientist grade and head. Women in Science, जैसे मैंने बताया वाइस की वो है, वैसे ही क्लाइमेट चेंज प्रोग्राम ये भी उनके अंदर है। डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, इसको वो रिप्रेजेंट करती हैं। शी विल बी देयर टू चेयर द सेशन एंड आई विल कॉल अपॉन अमीशी अरोरा.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, to start this.
हाँ जी,
Please,
हाँ जी.
please wait for the session.
हाँ, thank you, madam. Good afternoon. Warm welcome to all, one and all, today for this first session of the Women's Science Congress. At the outset, I would like to read out the names of the resource persons. If I am omitting any name, please come up on stage and report. We have with us as a resource person Dr. Professor Shalini Mohan, Dr. Sadhana Rayalu, Dr. Renu Agarwal, Dr. Sonal Dabekar, Dr. Subha Fadke. Panelist for the panel discussion, Dr. Indu Puri, Dr. Sufia Khan, Dr. Sangeeta Nagar, and Dr. Zarina. I would request Dr. Sadhana, Dr. Shalini Mohan, Dr. Renu Agarwal, and Dr. Sonal Dabekar to come up on stage. I would request all these illustrious and accomplished women to come up on stage. I would also request Dr. Nisha Mendiratta to come up on stage to chair the session. Thank you, ladies. I need it. If all are comfortably seated, we may begin the session. I would like to begin the session by introducing the chairperson of today's plenary session, Dr. Nisha Mendiratta. Friends, I have the privilege of introducing Dr. Nisha Mendiratta, a prolific personality. She is an advisor and head of two important program divisions of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, namely Women in Science and Engineering Program and Climate Change Program. She has more than 30 years of experience in the research and applied field of science. She graduated in physics from Delhi University and did her post-graduation in agricultural physics from Indian Agricultural Research Institute, New Delhi. She did her PhD in agricultural chemistry. She is a recipient of the meritorious PG fellowships in postgraduate and doctoral level at IARI, where she acquired second position in all India level competitive entrance examination. She has also acquired specialization by undertaking a postgraduate diploma course in satellite remote sensing and GIS for the application of agriculture and soils at the Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Department of Space, Dehradun. Madam started her professional career in 1990 as scientist at National Remote Sensing Agency, Hyderabad, in the Department of Space. She carried out core research in the field of microwave remote sensing applications. She then joined IIRS Dehradun as a faculty in 1991 and carried out intensive research in crop characterization using satellite data. She joined the NCMRWF program, currently under the Ministry of Earth Sciences, as Senior Scientific Officer during 1992 and worked for medium-range weather forecasting and crop weather modeling. Later on, she joined the National Resource Data Management System program of DST as scientist and worked in the specialized domain of natural resource management. Presently, she is working for the climate change program of DST, which is responsible for the implementation of the 2 national missions on climate change under National Action Plan on Climate Change launched by the Prime Minister Council of India. Several women-centric schemes were being conceptualized and implemented under her guidance in the WISE Kiran, which is benefiting many young researchers and scientists across the nation. She also led the Science Communication Program of DST and developed many important scientific programs on the science awareness, such as Science Channel. She served as the chairperson of the Women's Sexual Harassment Committee as well. She has also been representing the department in the international platform at Conference of Parties conducted by UNFCCC since 2015 on climate change, which is attended by more than 190 countries. Madam has made several technical presentations and has many research papers and articles to her credit. She has edited and co-authored 2 books as well, published by TERI Press, and several integrated technical documents and reports on the scientific programs implemented by her. We are privileged to have her with us to chair the session. Madam, I invite you to chair the session. We will begin with the presentation of Dr. Shalini Mohan, who is a professor of ophthalmology, Government Medical College, Kanpur. She would be speaking on sustainable development of women. Dr. Shalini Mohan, please. Madam, about 8 minutes of time would be given to you for our presentation.
Thank you. So can you start the slide from the beginning? Thank you so much, Dr. Nishi, respected chairperson, all the respected speakers, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, dear students and media personnel. So we saw a grand inauguration happening in this wonderful auditorium, and so many such wonderful talks and inspirational words from people who have actually worked from the down to earth. They have actually put their heart and soul so that they can come up and give their best to this world. And that is what, there are so many students I can see, and that is why I'm here to talk about the empowered woman navigating through challenges and overcoming them. So when we see this Hall of Fame, and I'm sure you all must have seen this photograph outside the auditorium, these are the empowered females who actually were the grassroots worker and worked because they have navigated through variety of challenges. They have shown courage and perseverance to overcome those challenges and have moved forward towards their goal. And here, there is always an empty frame where we all want our picture to be pasted. And believe me, it is possible. The best part amongst all female is that we are multitaskers and we are actually expert at it. But then we need to focus on professional achievement, financial independence and familial satisfaction. So I won't be talking anything negative, what people have done, लोगों ने हमारे साथ क्या किया, हम इसकी बातें नहीं करेंगे, but हम बात करेंगे कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं. What all we can do and what all we can achieve. The 10 cardinals rules as per me are, the 10th one is, first and foremost sit back and think for a second. Prioritize your work. आप decide करिए 1, 2, 3, 4 क्या आपके लिए important है. Because you can't win a game if you haven't defined. Rank the items in order of importance for you. Pick 1 and 2 and achieve the best in it. Be a writer of your own life and reader of your mind. The more you know yourself, the less you need to the approval of others. आपको अपने ऊपर confidence होना चाहिए. Rule number 9. Give up what you can. You can see such a big program being happening. It is a teamwork. You need to build up your own team. आपको ये देखना है कि what work you can delegate, what work you can outsource. You need to monitor it, but you cannot do everything yourself. So you need to have a good team. What less you can do and what distractions you can avoid. That is the rule number 9. Rule number 8 comes by time management. That is the very important thing. Everyone is having 24 hours. You have to, you can't work 24/7, but then you can manage your time in best possible way. So avoid procrastination, schedule your task, avoid stress, and set up deadlines. Now this is a photograph showing event of eye donation fortnight. Because I am an eye doctor, we need to do certain social work, and there you need to focus also because it is in social awareness. You need to be part of such cause. Then you need to do your surgeries also. You have to give light to your patient. This is a picture done on the World Women's Day, and you can see majority are female staff, and in fact patients are also females. So this was after transplantation of cornea. And then you have to give time to your family also. And then you have your own time also, you need to enjoy also. So time management is very, very important. For that you need to play smart because you need to be specific. You need to be measurable. You need to be attainable, relevant and time bound. Rule number 7 says, care about you. Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. So you need to take care of yourself. You are the strength of your family. So you need to take care, spare time to yourself. Pamper yourself and enjoy and grow your hobbies. Whatever you Rule number 6 is very, very important. Move step by step, one step by one step, because you have so much to achieve, but you cannot reach at the top at the very moment. Like when I came back from AIIMS after my training in cornea transplantation and I joined the medical college in Kanpur, there was not even an eye bank. तो मैं क्या करती? क्या मुझे रुक जाना चाहिए था ये सोच के कि हमारे पास तो उसकी सुविधा ही नहीं है, क्या हम कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते? लेकिन नहीं. What I did, first and foremost thing, I started an eye bank. उसके लिए जो कुछ भी करना था, registration कराना था, funds लाने थे, whatever, I started an eye bank. And then I did first cornea transplant in medical college. Not that, just that, please.
I started lamellar surgeries, जिसमें एक कॉर्निया को 2 पार्ट में यूज करके, डिवाइड करके 2 पेशेंट्स में अलग अलग यूज कर सकते हैं. And finally, recently, I did first cornea transplant in a baby of 6 months, which were first in whole Uttar Pradesh. So you have to move step by step. Moreover, आपको ये सब करने के लिए आपको अपना वर्क बताना है, because people also learn from your own work. So you have to do your presentations. This is the presentation. जब आपकी तरह ही मैं स्टूडेंट थी और फर्स्ट टाइम मुझे करने का अपॉर्चुनिटी मिला माई पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन, and that was UP State Conference. But gradually, I presented my work in European Society, and there I was invited faculty. So you have to take step by step, small steps to achieve greater heights. And then after presentation, you need to publish your work also, because publications are very, very important. Now for publications, you might start with the small things. Now this was first of its kind of publication where role of vitamin C was published in patients after cataract surgery. So it was first of its kind, but it was very, very important, and we know the role of vitamins are very important. You all know and understand. Another study on the color Doppler ultrasonography in glaucoma patient. Glaucoma आप लोग को पता है blinding disease है और उससे बहुत सारे लोग blind हो जाते हैं. तो ऐसी disease में अगर जो optic nerve है उसका blood flow हम बढ़ा सकें, it was another a very rare kind of study, and that was again published. Now the thing is that Valsalva maneuver, बहुत से लोग योगासन करते हैं, बहुत से लोग ऐसे इंस्ट्रूमेंट बजाते हैं लाइक ट्रम्पेट ब्लोवर, जिसमें सडनली ब्लड फ्लो आंख का कम हो जाता है, आई का प्रेशर बढ़ जाता है, और ग्लोकोमा के पेशेंट में दैट इज वेरी वेरी डेंजरस. सो दीज थिंग्स, इफ यू कैन वर्क अपॉन इट, दीज रेयर थिंग्स which actually people don't know, you get to publish in good journals with good impact factor, and this was impact factor 6. Another complicated glaucoma valve surgeries where people use corneal graft to cover the tube, but we know हमारे देश में corneal donation का rate कम है, and we cannot use cornea. So what we did, we used corneoscleral graft to cover these tubes, and this was published in the Word, the topmost journal of glaucoma, and that was accepted. Similarly, publication is very, very important, and you need to prove yourself. Rule number 5, take your own lead, because you have to be the leader. आपने देखा यहाँ पर Dr. Saxena, she is the leader of this Congress. It feels so proud for all of us that being female, कितनी सारी भी बाधाएं हो, but we have to do our best, and we have to prove it in front of everyone. Now this was the study on mucormycosis. आप सबने सुना होगा ब्लैक फंगस का नेम, जो अचानक से कोविड के बाद आ गया था. And this was the study which was largest study in world, and I was being the part of it. So you can definitely do it.
Dr. Shalini, can I ask you to sum up, please?
Can I take 1 minute only?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Sum up after 1 minute.
So rule number 4, we need to learn to say no. Do not say yes always. Work-life, family balance is equally important. And then you need to love yourself. Love your own work. And if you love your work, you can do your best. And then take care of health with proper diet and exercise. Your precious time. Always be positive and think positive, and you always grow by appreciation. And finally, rule number 1, have faith on yourself. You have the firm determination. You believe in yourself, and that will prove that you are the best. Because ultimate goal of life is happiness. This is are an unstoppable diva created by God. Fly like a golden bird and prove yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. That was insightful. I would also like to announce the name of other resource persons. We have with us Dr. Meenakshi Dey, former professor, Department of Microbiology, Kolkata. Madam, can I request you to come on stage? I would also like to invite Dr. Vishakha Jain from AIIMS, Hyderabad. Dr. Urvashi Srivastav, Associate Professor, Department of Physics, Kolkata. I would like to invite these women up on stage for presentation. Our next presenter is Dr. Sadhana Railu, the Chief Scientist of CSIR. Dr. Sadhana Railu would be speaking on the role of science and technology for women empowerment, a case study. Dr. Railu, please.
Dignitaries of the dais, on the dais, participants and my dear friends. A very good afternoon to you all. And first and foremost, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share with you all the role of science and technology for and in women empowerment. Basically, I would be highlighting some of the case studies which have been undertaken at our institute with reference to this particular topic which has been chosen for today. So, but before I proceed, coming to the theme of the workshop, which talks all about women empowerment and sustainable development goal. If we critically look into the sustainable development goals, that is the commonly known as SDGs, the first 7 SDGs are directly or indirectly related to women empowerment, which signifies the importance of this particular word, that is women empowerment, for which we are all sitting here today. Well, empowerment, we all know, is a multidimensional social process which basically helps people to gain control over their lives. That's what it is said. Then what's women empowerment all about? Well, women empowerment basically implies implementation of policy, facilitate acceptance of female viewpoints, making efforts to involve them in policy-making decisions, and above all, raising the status of women through literacy, education, awareness, and training programs. Well, this is one particular objective on which our institute has been working, and I'll highlight some of the things which have been carried out. Now, coming to the theme of the workshop, which says women empowerment and SDGs, and as I've already said, the 7 SDGs are directly or indirectly related to women empowerment. So I will be highlighting the case studies which have been carried out at our institute with respect to these 7 SDGs. Now, when we talk about women empowerment, it can be basically grouped into 2 categories. One is the political empowerment, which involves all kinds of policy decisions which are being taken for incorporation into different programs, so on and so forth. I'll not be touching upon those things, but what I am working on and what my institute is focusing on is that is women economic empowerment. And this essentially entails allowing women to have control and benefit from the resources which are there. The resources could be natural resources like clean water, so on and so forth, assets and income, to aid the ability to reduce the health risks which are there and to improve the well-being of women, and lastly, delineating approaches to support the trivialized gender, which of course is female. So what we are doing in this respect is to use the tool of STI, that is Science, Technology and Innovations, to address this big problem of women economic empowerment. And how are we doing it? There are 2 ways. One is to facilitate adoption of technology by startups, basically involving women, and we have been successful, and I'll share some case studies with you. And secondly, developing technologies which will provide job opportunities to women and also improve their health and well-being. In this, we are basically addressing three mantras, basically. First is sustainable development and revenue generation for women, that is the first, providing job opportunities, and third, of course, is improving their health rates. So all the activities which I will be presenting are revolving around these three mantras, and the ones which are highlighted in the red are the technologies on which I shall be talking about. So this basically summarizes what I would be presenting as case studies. The first case study, which is very, very relevant from women empowerment point of view, and it would be very surprising for most of you, that is a technology which is known as the green firecracker technology. Well, I'm not very sure how many of you are knowing, but the law of the land is today that we can manufacture only green firecrackers. And I'm very happy to share with you that the conventional firecrackers which were banned way back in 2017 have now been revived, and as I have said, the law of the land is only to manufacture green firecracker, and the inventor and the leader of the team is a woman, which is having more than 75% as females who have contributed towards this technology. It's not only important because it was led by a woman in developing the technology, but the most important part is that this particular technology has saved the job of more than 3 lakh employees. If we go into the statistics, then firecracker industry is worth 6,000 to 8,000 crores, and 5 lakh employees are involved in it. But when we went to the Shivkasi hub, wherein 5 lakh employees are employed, we were quite surprised to see that more than 60 to 70% of the staff which has been deployed over there are females. And that is because of the assets, the natural qualities which women are having in being patient, in having being very good at handiwork, so on and so forth. And that is how, by developing this green firecracker technology through the innovations and the science and the technology which is involved in that, we were able to secure and save the job of more than 3 lakh women who are employed in this particular trade. Secondly, we have been developing lot of solar appliances like solar dryer, solar cooker, so on and so forth, which could be very good for reducing drudgery, especially for women who are employed in the agricultural sector. Menstrual waste, we are all aware of, because a lot of non-biodegradable plastics are being put into use. So at our institute, we have undertaken this job of developing biodegradable pads, which would be the disposable kind and the reusable kind. The reusable kind, I'm sure you all understand, mostly it's being put into use in the rural sector, but how best we can make it more hygienic, more safe for them to use was targeted by us, and we've been successful in developing these biodegradable, disposable as well as reusable pads.
Yeah. Ma'am, can I please ask you to conclude?
Yeah, sure. So these are some of the activities and the case studies which have been undertaken by us basically for women empowerment to address the 3 mantras which I've already mentioned. The first mantra is related to self-employment and revenue generation through facilitating technology adoption by startups. And in Nagpur, we have 2 startups like Tatva Udyog, which has taken up the biodegradable pads and things like that, and the technology which I've talked about is the green firecracker technology, which has been implemented in Shivkasi hub, and we have about 1,200 licensees who have taken up this technology, and it's being put into use for securing the job of women. So thank you so much for a very patient listening.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Next, we invite Dr. Renu Agarwal, scientist from CSIR, Central Food Technical Research Institute, Mysuru, She would be speaking on opportunities in food sciences and technology for the empowerment of women. Dr. Renu, madam, please.
A very good afternoon to each one of you and a very happy new year. I would like to thank first DST, Madam Nisha, and all her team who has invited me, the local authorities who have taken care so well. And I will talk to you on opportunities in food science, nutrition, technology. Then we see that health, food and energy, they come on the top. So what do I learn in food technology? Today the women, they want to enter food science and technology. So what is food science? What are the careers there? And what is the salary which a person is going to get? Food science usually deals with the agricultural sciences, where we are talking today about smart agriculture, about drones, about forecasting, weather forecasting, and so many of them. If we are talking about nutrition, food nutrition, we are talking about malnutrition. How can we combat malnutrition? How can we make the food items more nutritious? So what are the possible solutions towards it? These are the R&Ds which you people can take it, like reduce the food waste. How can we utilize the agricultural waste, reduce risk of commercialization, improve trade policies, and there are so many sub-disciplines of food sciences, starting from food safety to microbiology, preservation, engineering, product development, and sensory analysis. So what are the opportunities? The question arises, what is there in a food? Why do we want to make new innovative foods? And how can we do this research? And the food scientist has to deal with so many people around, like in a manufacturing industries, with the consumer, with R&D departments, sales and marketing, advertisements, environment, and regulatory agencies. You can see, if you become a food scientist, you need to deal with so many people around. And this technology deals starting from processing to packaging, handling, and preservation of foods. Also the equipment part. I think you must be all remembering that it was in 50s we had the refrigerators, and then domestic freezers, and then microwaves took into picture. There are so many new developments in equipments and also in efficiencies, which today the R&D needs to be taken up more and more. Modified atmosphere packaging, like we have in Haldiram and MTR, where they have inert gas like nitrogen and hydrogen, which can keep the shelf life much better and also increase the beneficial organisms in that. And then the packaging, the consumer packaging is different from the industrial packaging, where logistic will work. Whereas in the consumer packaging, the labeling is very, very important. The another point is nanotechnology. People are talking about nanotechnology, particles, nanoparticles of silver and gold, which can be antimicrobial and much more worth. Then a food chemist. I need to run my slides because time is very short, so please cope up with me. So a food chemist starts with the food composition, the food color, what happens, food additives, and so many things. The canning, where the temperature is very, very important because the cans are thermally sealed. So that is another very big opportunity if you are taking food science and technology. The quality control. Each company has a quality control system and a quality assurance, so one can become a quality control manager. The health sector, today we are talking about biofortification. Earlier, it was the salt. हमने जब शुरू किया था iodine वाला salt, but today people are talking about iron fortification, calcium, and other things in atta, and so many cereal bars, if we have fruit bars, and so many things. So biofortification is a very big field. And if you look into the immunity, today when we had this corona, people were thinking of increasing, how do we increase the immunity? So biofortification by millets, chia and quinoa, and we have actually done this in CFTRI, which I'll show you a little later. This is a complete food. Spirulina. Earlier we were getting only capsules of spirulina, but today we are adding it in food like chicky form and so many, because it is very rich in minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and phycosanins. Let us go to the technology options, starting from animal animal products to bakery, beverages, cereal products, convenience foods. Because today the couple is working, they want more convenient food, more instant foods, food machinery, fruits and vegetables and production, and fermentation products. If we look into the emerging technology of cereals, look into today about the millet, the grains, the coarse grain is like jowar and bajra. We want rollable bajra. Rollable so that a roti of a bajra or a roti can be made. So that type of a thing. See, these are the food machineries in CFTRI where we have invented, our teams have food engineers. Engineering is another very big field which you people can take up, where we have got 100 idlis in a minute, 100 dosas in a minute, vadas and laddus, which many temples and many restaurants have taken. Then there is HPP, high pressure processing, which is very important. Tasters you have in beverage and tea tasting, in a tea industry, where they have sensory evaluation starting from odor, flavor, color and texture. Then we have PDS, public distribution system, where we have large storage facilities, but we are giving lot of radiations. How can we stop them? Can we have biopesticides? Is another very good opportunity for the fruit chemist. And then how it can control ripening, disinfections and inhibit sprouting. Another field is infrastructure. It is very, very expensive to make batch products. So government is giving lot of facility. You can make food parks so that the cluster of farmers can come, make their produce and go out. Then about quality control, the codex. We have in CFTRI a codex lab which has ISO, HACCP programs and GMP practices, and a codex cell. And lot of this DST, DBT and other funding agencies are giving you large amount to make a codex lab in your institutions, maybe a university or a college or whatever institution it is. Then there is an improvement, there should be a backward linkage and a forward linkage. See that, you're connected from the farmers, from the raw material. Ready-to-eat meals, bottled and beverage, packaged milk, baby foods, low-fat. Everybody wants to avoid obesity. Can we have low-fat foods? Chocolates, yogurt, coffee, cereals and aerated products. So what is the way ahead for innovation? Affordable technologies, use of eatable coatings, storage concepts and biofortification. These are so many colleges in India which I have put the list there, but no time to read. And there are so many institutes there and so many careers opportunities you have as a food scientist, as a food technologist, as a food nutritionist, starting from regulatory to a brewer, to a food blogger, to a chef, and so many sectors which will give you jobs. If you are talking about international markets, starting from White Lily to Nestle to Sodexo, Kellogg's, FDA, Kraft Foods, Coca-Cola, we are very proud of our Indian woman, Indra Nui, who is heading it. And then we have a lot of national like Dabur, Agrotech, Parle, Kisan, Amul, Nandini, Ashirvadata, which is biofortifying also. These are the books which have been authored by me, and these are the conferences which we did for women. These are for women karishalas, where we empowered them with our own CFTRI papad making machine. Disabled girls, where we have made them to stand on their own feet with small recipes, like rasam making or sambar powder making and things like that. We went into the rural because it is very important to have a backward linkage and a forward linkage. So we went to the rural areas. We have covered almost quite a bit of nation where we have connected the rural women with these urban technologies. Then these are some of the felicitations, and it was covered on DD Science. And also the chia, and then we had a center in Mandya for sugarcane juice, where the shelf life of sugarcane juice in a bottled one can be for 6 months without changing the color. Some more of these felicitations. And
hello. Sorry. Thank you so much, madam. That was really insightful, Dr. Renu. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Meenakshi Dey. Dr. Meenakshi Dey.
A very good afternoon to everybody. I'm going to talk on science communication career for women. And how much time, madam?
Madam, 8 minutes, please.
Okay, I'll have to hurry. It's not working. See, scientists are working in their science labs and they are working on their own fashion. But the public must know about these things because actually they are doing for the welfare of the public only. And who will bridge the gap between scientists and the public? It's the work of science communicators. Who can become a science communicator? Science journalism, you need not have a degree in science journalism. Anyone can come. But you must have an aptitude for scientific writings and all, everything. Women who had break in their career, they can also take up. Not necessarily they belong to the science section. Now, scope of work. In India, we have National Council of Science Museums, then DST, DBT, ICMR, they also give a number of fellowships. Actually, I'm hurrying up a little because for the time constraints. Science writing jobs from home. Previously, I mentioned it's an ideal career for women because many women who have liabilities at home, they may not go out and work. So in that case, they can take up this work by doing everything from home on online basis. An exciting career pathway for connecting science to the masses. CSIR, National Institute of Science Communication and Policy Research, they have published 3 popular science magazines, around 11 journals, including Journal of Scientific Temper and popular books. They have also started courses of MSc and PhD in science and technology communication. Even NCSTC DST has many proposals for submission of science awareness projects as grants. AUSAR, Augmenting Writing Skills for Articulating Research. This is an initiative that aims to disseminate Indian research stories among the masses in an easy and understandable way. This is the main job of science communicators, to make available the information in a very simple and lucid manner to the public, not in a scientific manner. And they must omit the main scientific terms and explain them in a more lucid manner. Now we have many scopes also, like India Science Media Fellowships, Joint Venture of Wellcome Trust, DBT, etc. Vigyan Prasad, it involves also science journalists to develop and disseminate materials to the public. And now in Calcutta, we have an organization, Indian Science News Association. We have been organizing this 3-4 months training program on science journalism and media practice. And this is funded mainly by Vigyan Prasad, Government of India. It's supporting us for nearly 6 years. Actually, I'm also a faculty there in that department. Fellowships for writing. Some scientific journals and e-journals are also hired. Science writers provide current science news to the public in a more popular way. Then TDU, Nature India Media Fellowship in Science Journalism, has also been started by the University of Transdisciplinary Health Sciences and Technology and Nature India. Current Science Journal, which is published from Bangalore, Indian Academy of Science, it has instituted S. Ramaseshan Science Writing Fellowship Internship for postgraduates in biosciences, literature, journalism, or mass communication who are not engaged in any permanent job. That is the only criteria. India Bioscience National Center for Biological Sciences, Bangalore, then the International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis. They also have science communication fellowships. It provides the opportunity for 1 to 2 early career science communicators to gain hands-on experience in science communications. Now, recruitments or assignments of persons pursuing science communication as a career, they can become scientific writer, senior scientific writer, healthcare writer, regulatory writer, scientific writer and editor, medical content writer. Now, internationally also there is demand. Need for science journalists are not restricted to India only. Excuse me. All over the world, there has been a rapid increase in demand of science writers, especially after the COVID. The importance of science communicators have come up. For journals, magazines, newspapers, radio, television, social media, YouTube, websites, everywhere, we need good science communicators. Jobs advertised, the list is already there. I need not read it out. International demand. The Knight Science Journalism Program at MIT selects a group of distinguished science journalists for its project fellowships for outlets such as the Dallas Morning News, the New York Times, MIT Technology Review. American Association for the Advancement of Science organizes AAAS Mass Media Science and Engineering Fellows Program. Fellows work as journalists at media organizations such as National Public Radio, Los Angeles Times, Wired, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and Nova.
Madam, can I please ask you to sum up, please?
Okay. I'm hurrying up. One more slide left. Positions in journals. Some journals also need science writers like New Scientist, Scientific American, Discover Magazine. They cover everything from scientific breakthroughs to technology and space travel. Okay, thank you for communicating.
Thank you, madam. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Vishakha Jain. I would also like to invite Dr. Mukulika Hitkari to come up on stage. Punita, madam, please accompany her on stage. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Vishakha Jain, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers and the President of Women's Science Congress, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi, for having me here and giving me this opportunity to interact with such an august crowd. I would like to walk you through my presentation, which is on women in medicine and perspectives in 2023. I get you greetings from my institute, that is All India Institute of Medical Sciences, PB Nagar, Hyderabad, where I work as an additional professor in Department of Medicine and the head of the department. But I should say that my roots are very much in Nagpur and Wardha because I am an alumnus of RTM Nagpur. I would like to start with a disclaimer that there are no personal opinions that I have expressed in this presentation, and this is taken from the evidence, and data and statistics are accurate to date. So speaking about the historical perspective, women have been practicing medicine right from the ancient and the medieval times when Merit Peta and Germany's first female physician have been recorded in the literature. There have been women who have been assisting men as herbalists or as assistants in part of medicine. But then there were many challenges that women faced even in the medieval times, that they were not referred to as practitioners, or the most they got was that there were assistants to the practitioners or were labeled as midwives. So as the role as healers, they were considered as herbalists, midwives, surgeons, barber surgeons and nurses or traditional. That they were denied any advanced education, had to fight against accusation or for the malpractice. They were also labeled as witches. And the universities denied them entry into universities even after the licensures was granted. But there were certain times of respite even in those times, because the males could not handle everything on their own. They did not want to get involved in women's medical care and they wanted women assistants. Midwifery was restricted to female medical practitioners. The diseases of venereal or the genital tract, in which the male counterparts needed female assistance. So there the female got some respite. And the females went up to length to hide their identities as well. And the acceptable spheres, even in the 19th century, which were accepted for women, were pediatrics, palliative care, or female venereal diseases. And like I was saying, that females went on to hide their identity, to continue with their passion of medicine. And this Dr. James Miranda Barry hid her identity and was practicing in the army for years together, and it was later discovered that she was a female. And there have been enough atrocities of patriarchy which have been put on females. And if I have to quote from a book, which is Sex in Education, which was published in 1873, that higher education in women produces monstrous brains and puny bodies, abnormally active cerebration and abnormally weak digestion, flowing thought and constipated bowels. The Medical Registration Act introduced that the female may given the licensure for practice of medicine, but the Royal College denied entry of females into registration and for calculation of medicines and the other formulas, only a 70 kg male, and all other things have to be adjusted for the female even till the present time. But little did we see the progress in 1930s and 70s when the medical graduates started becoming more towards female gender, and the American Association of Medical Colleges started registering females. And then the 19th and the 20th century, these have been the influential women in medicine, and I don't have to name these photographs for you, and I think all of you coming from the science background acknowledge with their presence. We have had many path-breaking women doctors in India, starting right from Anandibai Joshi, who was the first female who have taken a foreign degree and was from Pune. Dr. Kadambini Ganguly, which fought for females to be entered into Calcutta Medical College. Padmavati Iyer, who was the first female cardiologist, and so on and so forth. There are many which do not found place on this slide or in my presentation, but there are many inspirers amongst female who have had path-breaking even in India. The second respite that came to us was the formation of Lady Hardinge Medical College, which was formed in 1960, which introduced females into the world of medicine. But when we cut to the present scenario, and this I say from the statistics from AAMMC, that even now we see that though in undergraduation the representation of the female has increased up to 48.4%, the number of females which go on to do post-graduation, or which go on to become faculty in medical sciences, and later on to the administrative positions is still very bleak. And if you look at the current situation in India, the number of doctors which are females are very far-fetched. And if you see that there are about 7.5 female doctors for about 10,000 population in Chandigarh, but it is only 0.26 in Bihar. And we have a long way to go when we can speak about the gender equality when it comes to practice of medicine. And then we have to think about the glass ceiling, which till now not many women have been able to break and get through. And this study comes from AIIMS Delhi, which was published in 2010. It says that 25% of about faculty positions were females, and only 8% chairs, departmental chairs, were headed by females. And this is the data from the Western world, where if you see that the departmental chair still was 10%, the medical school dean 11%, The president of professional organization only 19%. And here let me add you that even the president of a organization of obstetrics and gynae has been hardly a female. And editors of reputed journals or members of editorial board, only 6 to 19% of female. And the arguments that the females have to face is that the pipeline argument that the women have not been in the field for long enough. Of course, you have never given the women the opportunity to be in the field long enough. The family reasons and the lack of skills. But I'm very proud here to present the snapshot of my institute where I work presently, where I go on to say that the faculty positions are about 41% females, the administrative position again about 42%, the departmental heads 40%, and we have seen about a 50% undergraduates and senior residents in our institute.
Madam, I would request you to sum up, please.
Yes, thank you. And the challenges that we face are, of course, we get less paid, the sister syndrome, which most of the female doctors know what it is, less leadership positions, few publications, and career change. And there is, of course, a gender-related abuse at workplace, both at India and in the Western countries. The pandemic has made this gap even further when publications were less for females as compared to their male counterparts. But I have to say that, like we have been hearing, that the SDG points towards the SDG 5th goal, which is gender equality, which gets compromised at each part by lack of access of decent work, occupational segregation, gender wage gaps, denied access to basic education, denied access to basic healthcare services, and women which are victims of violence and discrimination. There are changes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, madam. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Next on the agenda, I would like to invite the panelists, and I would like Dr. Nisha, madam, to conduct the panel discussion. The panelists are Dr. Indu Puri, senior scientist from DST New Delhi, Dr. Sufia Khan, Vanasthali University, and Dr. Sangeeta Nagar, scientist, TIFAC, New Delhi. I would like all the panelists, esteemed panelists, to be on stage, and I would request Dr. Nisha to conduct the panel discussion. A total of 20 minutes.
She was sitting. I will call up बैठिए. आप बैठिए.
Madam.
What is her name? Urvashi.
Urvashi.
She's there.
Her name is there.
We have a few other presenters who would be giving their presentations after the panel discussion. Lined up are Dr. Urvashi, Dr. Subha Phadke, and Dr. Mukulika Hitkari.
Excuse me, Dr. Nisha, how do we need to conduct the panel discussion?
Dr. Nisha, madam, a small request to kindly maintain the time limit for the panel discussion.
But I just want to know one thing, that is there any other mic which while sitting we can conduct it?
Yes, a mic would be provided.
Yeah, sure.
Organizers, please. A mic required up on stage. A cordless mic required on stage.
Thank you so much. I think we had a wonderful session, though a little lengthy, in which many facets were covered by various speakers. Yeah. So just considering the time frame, because I think there is no break at all for women scientists. Is it so? Are we going to, like after the session only, I think it's going to be completing the thing. So I am not summarizing the presentations which we had just now by various eminent speakers on various aspects. If the time permits, I would like to speak about that at the end, Dr. Arora. Will that be fine?
Yeah, that's okay.
So now coming to the panel discussion, because considering the theme of the Science Congress and also the participation from various women who are working in different fields of science. So we thought of picking up a few examples to share with all of you. In fact, when we are talking about women empowerment and with regard to their involvement in STEM science, then there are various fields. In fact, we feel that women are working for science and also science is for women. So just thinking that aspect in mind, we planned this panel discussion in which broadly 4 speakers are there, and we will be very happy to hear from them one by one. And the aspect which we had chosen was because when we are talking about science and technology, of course, research in basic and applied field is one of the most prominent area in which we are thinking of our girls and scientists, and they are doing wonderful work. India is one of the best country, I will say, who is now number 3 in terms of publication and quality research, and girls are doing much better in that field. We know that. So in this panel discussion, we have taken some of the aspects which are with regard to science for society by women and for women. And the second aspect will be on innovation. Third is on IPR. And fourth one is especially we have picked up for young girls who are working, who are studying in various schools at from I think 9 to 12 standard. And we have a Vigyan Jyoti program in which many girls are getting benefited. So these 4 topics we just thought of sharing with all the group people who are gathered here. And I will just start this panel discussion by inviting Dr. Indu Puri, who is Scientist F in one of the very important program of DST, which is dealing with societal equity, SEET division. And I will request Dr. Indu to give her feel about her experience about the role of women with regard to the societal impact. Over to you, Dr. Indu. And how much time we are dedicating to each panelist, Dr. Arora?
Hello.
So maybe 5 to 8 minutes. Let us fix it like that. So over to you, Dr. Indu.
Thank you, Dr. Nisha, and a very good evening to all of you. I will talk about how science and technology is trying to help women, ordinary women, not only the scientists, but the ordinary women, because हम science और society को जब ordinary women में ले जाते हैं, तो उसका कुछ और impact होता है, जैसे कि what is it is doing for the rural women, for their capacity building. And studies says that all the women in the rural areas and in peri-urban areas, they are mostly employed in agricultural sectors. So we support action-oriented, location-specific projects. और मैं अपना बोलचाल की भाषा में बोलूँ तो हम कंप्लीट लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ विमेन में हाउ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी हेल्प कर सकती है उस पर काम करते हैं. लाइक वी डू वर्क विद विमेंस हेल्थ, जैसे कि वी आर डूइंग अ प्रोजेक्ट विद इंदिरा गांधी नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी, टेक्निकल यूनिवर्सिटी अमरकंटक, जहाँ पर लेडीज़ में जो फंगल इन्फेक्शन, सेक्सुअली ट्रांसमिटेड डिजीज़ वगैरह हो जाती हैं, उनके लिए अवेयरनेस उनमें डालना, उनको वो लोग कैसे उससे कैसे उससे बच सकते हैं उसके बारे में अवेयरनेस करना, सैनिटेशन, हाइजीन, उससे रिलेटेड प्रोजेक्ट्स. और हमने मणिपाल यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ में वी आर डूइंग अ प्रोजेक्ट in which we are talking about the mental health of the women, especially at the postpartum period. आपने सुना होगा कई बार बच्चा होने के बाद लेडीज़ को postpartum depression हो जाता है, उसमें हम लोग उनको witchcraft समझ लेते हैं, कुछ चढ़ गया है, ये हो गया है, या कुछ रूढ़िवादियों को ले आते हैं. तो उस टाइम में उसको हैंडल करने के लिए there are scientific reasons, there are hormonal imbalances, then how to address that. उस तरह के लाइफ साइकिल से रिलेटेड प्रोजेक्ट्स करते हैं. एंड ऑफ कोर्स वी हैव विमेन टेक्नोलॉजी पार्क्स, जिसमें हम एक्शन ओरिएंटेड और लोकेशन स्पेसिफिक प्रोजेक्ट्स को करते हैं, जिसमें कि हम वहाँ के एरिया के रिसोर्सेज को यूज़ करके अच्छे प्रोजेक्ट्स उनको बताते हैं, ताकि उनकी लाइवलीहुड जो है वो अच्छे से वो दे कैन अर्न. आई विल जस्ट कोट अ फ्यू एग्जांपल्स बिकॉज टाइम इज़ वेरी शॉर्ट. जैसे कि हमने अभी NEIST असम में करा था, तो उसमें हमने रूरल विमेन को उनको बैम्बू से जैसे प्रोडक्ट्स बनते हैं, बैम्बू है वहाँ पर, उनसे किस तरह की चीज़ें बन सकती हैं. फिर उन्होंने वैक्स के क्रेयॉन्स बनाने की टेक्नोलॉजी सीखी, और उसके बाद में सैनिटाइजर्स बनाए एट द टाइम ऑफ कोविड. And by that, they were economically empowered. And not only this, they are also encouraged to make self-help groups, and we give them training in the marketing and in the support system, how they can earn their own, livelihood. All that training is given. And kahi jagah par, jaise ki we have done one women technology park in Meghalaya, where the children of these women are also being trained in the functional literacy. कि उनको बच्चे कहाँ पर जाएं उस टाइम में, तो उनको वहीं पर फंक्शनल लिटरेसी की भी उनको एजुकेशन दी जा रही है. एंड देयर आर सो मेनी एग्जांपल्स. महाराष्ट्र में भी जैसे लेंटाना वगैरह जो वीड होती है उससे फर्नीचर बनाना, और हमने हिमाचल में एक कुल्लू में प्रोजेक्ट करा है जिसमें कि रोज़ हिप, जो कि जंगली गुलाब था, वो सारा वेस्ट होता था. उस गुलाब को उनको लेडीज़ को सेग्रीगेट करना सिखाया. उसमें से उनका रोज़ हिप ऑयल, जो कि एक बहुत अच्छी नॉवेल्टी प्रोडक्ट होती है और जो कि यूज़ करी जाती है स्किन केयर के लिए, और रोज़ हिप से टी बनाना, वो सारे उनको प्रोजेक्ट सिखाए. और एंड दे हैव रियली, इट हैज़ मेड देम empowered, and they are not dependent on economically, earlier they were not having any income. So many examples are there for women empowerment, and we have nationwide more than 40 women technology park, out of which 13-14 are active. And जब हम लेडीज़ के साथ में काम करते हैं तो सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट का गोल अपने आप ही पूरा हो जाता है. बिकॉज व्हाट इज सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट, अगर मैं कॉमन शब्दों में कहूँ तो वो होता है सतत विकास, या विकास जो कि आपका कैरिंग कैपेसिटी के हिसाब से चला जाए. सो इन मोस्ट ऑफ द विमेन टेक्नोलॉजी पार्क वी टेल देम अबाउट रिसाइकल, रीयूज एंड अगेन हाउ टू यूज़ इट. लाइक हम एक CPET के साथ में करने जा रहे हैं, जिसमें कि वेस्ट जो मटीरियल है उससे वो सुपर एब्जॉर्बेंट हाइड्रोजेल वगैरह बनाकर उसको वो अपने एग्रीकल्चरल प्रैक्टिसेस के लिए यूज़ करेंगे. तो आई थिंक दीज आर अ फ्यू एग्जाम्पल्स विच आई हैव कोटेड, एंड आई कैन टॉक अगेन, बट आई विल गिव नाउ चांस टू अदर स्पीकर्स ऑल्सो. थैंक यू. Dr. Nisha?
Dr. Nisha, I would request you to please ensure that we maintain the time limits.
Yeah, sure.
Humble request to the panelists also.
Yeah, sure.
We are just left with another 5 minutes to sum up the panel discussion. Hence, I would request you, all of you, to be very short in your sharing of your views.
Sure. I think we are moving ahead with the next presenter. My voice is audible?
Yes.
There are some echoes. But I will request Dr. Sufia Khan, who is professor in one of the, I think, most world's largest women university, Banasali University, Banasali Vidyapeeth. And she is one of the expert who is dealing with the innovation and startup. So I will not take more time because time is short. I think 2 to 3 minutes time is given to you. I will just tell you that. You can do from here if you feel. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you so much, Nisha ma'am, for inviting me over here, and all the DST personnel to give me an opportunity to represent myself. So I have given my time that how the opportunities of the women in this time, especially in the innovation area. So through my journey, I would like to tell you one most important thing that is coming in the way. Earlier we have talked all about the industry academia collaborations, but now these days the third line, that the startups ecosystem is doing so great. We can see the statistics. By year 2000 there is only 471 startups, and now these days the figure has goes to 80,000, and in the biotechnology it is in 7,500 registered startups. So there is a huge opportunities in the translational research, academic entrepreneurships, and all the related schemes are already available. So what I thought that I should share my own journey, that how I utilize the existing ecosystem of the sciences and the funding agency, and how I will able to convert into a valuable product. So through my journey that I started, that I have taken a problem which is local in the nature, that is a fluoride problem, and with the help of the different funding agencies like the MHRD and DST, I founded the Center for Excellence Water and Energy, and currently I am running the Water Innovation Center. So I did a lot of the basic research, and through basic research I came out up to the technology readiness level 5. But the problem with that, when we want to commercialize all these technologies to the market, because I have only one dream, that one day I would like to see the impact of my science at to the society, and it gives a very huge impact. But when I'm going through this journey, this is a brutal journey, and there was no lots of things are riddles in the path. So, but there are several schemes and the fellowships and the grants are already available. For example, if you are a researcher or a professor in the university, you can also hold an academic spin-off. That is a new area that was not new. And for this, like the big grants and the Nidhi Prayas and all the other grants of the DST is very, very useful for just like testing of the prototype. And the second is for the seed funding and the middle stages, there are several incubation systems who is existing now these days, from where you can take your technology from the technology 5 to the 7 to the 8, and with the industrial partner you can take your technology to the 9th level and could see the impact of your science in the society. So my message is very clear that there is another line which is coming in your way, and in the next 10 years the technology will be changing every lens which we are seeing. So lots of opportunities that will coming to the young generation is also will be changing. So what we need in the next era, that the people should be trained in the multidisciplinary areas. Second, we want the people who could write a very good business grant, not in the R&D grants. So one must have an ability or skill development programs in all this, and and the knowledge about the IP valuation, IP transfer and innovation strategies. That could be the one of the area that you could develop your skills and make your path. So there are techno-legal experts we need for the spin-out companies. So people are looking for the jobs.
Humble request to the panelists for maintaining the time, please. My apologies. A humble request, please.
Yeah, so I'm summarizing the way that during my journey that if I can do, then all people can do. And there are a lot of new opportunities that people or the young scientists should look into the way. So good luck to each and everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sophia, for sharing the immense experience with regard to the women startups. Yeah, I think we are going to have more discussion on that later on. Now coming to another important aspect with regard to patent. I have Dr. Sangeeta Nagar, Scientist F here, who is looking after the patent related issues in which there is a specialized scheme. I request her to just inform quickly about the scheme in which various girls are getting benefited. Over to you, Dr. Sangeeta.
My apologies, Dr. Sangeeta. Just a humble request to be very brief.
Don't worry, मैं बहुत ही जल्दी से निपटाऊंगी.
Sorry, ma'am.
जैसे कि आपको मालूम है, इस प्रोग्राम का भी ये टॉपिक है, अपॉर्चुनिटीज फॉर वुमेन इन स्टेम एंड वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट. मैं इन्हीं 3 शब्दों के बारे में बोलूँगी, अपॉर्चुनिटीज, स्टेम एंड एम्पावरमेंट. अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्या क्या है वो मैं बताना चाहती हूँ कि व्हाट आई एम हैंडलिंग इन DST इज वाइज IPR स्कीम which trains women from science and technology in the area of intellectual property rights through a scheme of DST, जिसमें minimum age limit है 27 and maximum is 45. इस age group की जो women हैं और उनकी साइंस बैकग्राउंड है, जैसे जो MSc है, PhD, BTech, वो लोग इस स्कीम में अप्लाई कर सकते हैं और उनका सिलेक्शन ऑनलाइन एग्जाम और इंटरव्यू से जैसे सिलेक्शन हो जाता है तो 1 साल के लिए उनको ट्रेनिंग दी जाती है इन द एरिया ऑफ इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स, मतलब पेटेंट्स, कॉपीराइट, ट्रेडमार्क, डिज़ाइन, इन सब एरियाज़ में उनको ट्रेन करा जाता है. और उस ट्रेनिंग के दौरान उनको हैंड्स ऑन एक्सपीरियंस दिया जाता है. 1 मंथ ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम, मतलब लेक्चर्स वगैरह होते हैं, और बाकी 11 मंथ्स ऑन द जॉब ट्रेनिंग होती है. प्लस उनको ट्रेन करा जाता है पेटेंट एजेंट एग्जाम में अपेयर करने के लिए, और भी तरह तरह के एग्जाम्स में अपेयर करने के लिए उनको प्रिपेयर करा जाता है. और उसकी इस ट्रेनिंग के बाद उनको जो फ़ायदा मिलना है, दैट इज़ एम्पावरमेंट. इकोनॉमिकल, उनका जो डेवलपमेंट होता है थ्रू दिस ट्रेनिंग, जो हमारे मोदी जी का सपना है कि हमें आत्मनिर्भर बनना है। इस स्कीम से आप आत्मनिर्भर बन सकते हैं। तो ये सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है कि इस अपॉर्चुनिटी को वो वुमेन यूज़ कर सकती हैं जो हाईली एजुकेटेड इन साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी है, और वो आत्मनिर्भर कैसे बन सकती हैं। उनको जॉब्स मिल सकती हैं, IPR अटॉर्नी फर्म्स में मिल सकती हैं, वो अपना व्यवसाय खोल सकती हैं, एंटरप्रेन्योर बन सकती हैं, स्टार्टअप फैसिलिटेटर बन सकते हैं, पेटेंट एजेंट्स बन सकते हैं, पेटेंट अटॉर्नीज बन सकते हैं। और मैं बताना चाहूँगी कि दिस इज़ वन ऑफ द फ्लैगशिप स्कीम्स ऑफ DST, which has also won the Nari Shakti Puraskar given by the President of India. And about 900 women have already been trained, and they are working in all the big IPR law firms of the country. And about 400 have also become patent agents. So in women ये सिर्फ मतलब enable ही नहीं हुई, इनके साथ इनका घर enable हुआ. They have become very very economically independent. मतलब जो सैलरी हम नहीं ले पा रहे एज अ गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट, वो प्राइवेट में जाके दे हैव risen to a very high level of earning, मतलब starting from 45,000 starting, और they can end up till lakhs, 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, इस लेवल तक ये वुमेन गई हैं। तो वुमेन को अपने आप को कम समझने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है। इफ़ यू आर एजुकेटेड इन साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, द अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ आर इमेंस। क्योंकि मेरे पास समय कम है, बस मैं इतना ही बताना चाहूँगी। आप इस स्कीम के बारे में डिटेल में पढ़ लीजिए। जस्ट गो टू द वेबसाइट, DST वेबसाइट और टू टाइफेक वेबसाइट। इस वेबसाइट पे देख के आप डिटेल में देख लीजिए। और नया एडवर्टीजमेंट भी आने वाला है इन अदर 1 to 2 months। इफ़ समबडी वांट्स टू अप्लाई, वो आप दोबारा अप्लाई कर सकते हैं फॉर द ट्रेनिंग। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू सो मच मैडम। बहुत ही संक्षेप में आपने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से समाप्त कर दिया। Truly grateful. Over to you, Nisha ma'am.
Yeah. I think now I would like Dr. Zarina, who is principal of JNV located at Nagpur, to please come here and just share her experience. And I would like to see her students also. Your students are here in the pavilion? Just wave your hands, students. Yeah, you're liking this session? Very good. Are you getting whole benefit of your program? You're getting all the studies from ma'am? Okay, we are going to listen to you after this session. Be there, please. So thank you, Dr. Zarina, for taking care of our girls. Yeah, please tell quickly in 2 to 3 minutes only. Later on we can have a session from there. Okay, please. And Dr. Sonal also is there. Please come.
Good evening to all of you. The Department of Science and Technology has several centric programs for the women to provide various opportunity to women for the science and technology areas. To attract women in STEM, the DST launched an unique and amazing program of Vigyan Jyoti. Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti is an implementing agency as a implementing partner of Vigyan Jyoti program, and I feel proud that Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya Navegaon Kheri, Nagpur is a knowledge partner of Vigyan Jyoti program. The aim of the Vigyan Jyoti program is to bring gender parity in STEM, to motivate girl students towards career in STEM field, enhance girls' participation in area of STEM, to provide enabling environment and end to STEM educations, to give exposure of various scientific careers, empowering girls in STEM, and to address the underrepresentation of women in different fields of STEM. The main features of the projects is to provide
Dr.
a
Zarina.
smooth journey to meritorious
Dr. Zarina,
girls right from schools.
I think we have only 2 to 3 minutes. If instead of presentation, you can just tell that how the girls are getting the benefit.
Okay.
That will be much better, and we can have some discussion later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So how you feel about the program and how the students are benefited?
Okay. So all the girls belongs to Vigyan Jyoti programs. They are getting chance to interact with the eminent scientists, visiting laboratories of knowledge partners, special classes from the renowned coaching classes. Girls are showing enthusiasm towards the projects and Vigyan Jyoti projects helping them in shaping their career in STEM. Vigyan Jyoti project is a boon for young Indian girls. I would like to express sincere gratitudes towards the Department of Science and Technology, Dr.
With due apologies, madam.
Yeah.
I would request you to take care of the time, please.
Sure. Only one more minute. If
Okay,
all
okay.
the students
I
can
would-
come here on the dais. Dr.
Please.
Zarina.
Thank you. Okay.
Zarina, you call your
All
girl
girls,
students
please,
to come.
please,
come
all
quickly.
girls and coordinator, Ashok
Yeah,
sir,
please come quickly and we want...
Yes.
That will be a kind
All
of...
girls very fast.
Yeah, you will also get a feel that how the science
In the
conference is-
meantime, till the students come up, can we have Dr. Sonal quickly sharing her
Yeah.
experience?
Yeah, that will be great.
So that we
Please.
don't waste.
Sonal Dhabekar. I am a beneficiary of Women Scientist Scheme B, Department of Science and Technology. So I thank you so much to Indian Science Congress and Women Scientist Scheme, Department of Science and Technology, Vandana ma'am and all. Because हम हमेशा बात करते हैं कि Women Scientist Scheme है and I got an opportunity to have that fellowship. हमेशा हम ये सोचते हैं कि after having break in career, what to do. So I got an opportunity to have this fellowship and kickstart my second innings of career. So for me, I think for every woman, age एक number है और हमको जब जैसी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी उसको एनकैश करना चाहिए. So I am very fortunate to have this opportunity and I started just an idea during my project presentation and develop a wonderful range of products. So this is a very good opportunity for all the women and I would request more and more women to participate in this fellowship program because window is also very big. 27 to 57 age year is there. So women having break-in career should definitely apply for this. And
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Thank
this
you
is
so
all
much.
for 1 minute. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Almost at the end of this session, Dr.
Yes.
And now only I want to hear from all the students. Hooray. And one photograph. Is it okay? Photographer is ready? Yeah, because they are our future scientists, our women and in Women Science Congress.
In the meantime, I would like to call Dr. Shubha Phadke up on the stage.
So, okay, students.
Dr.
So please
Phadke and Dr. Richa Bansal
some more presentations are
to
left.
come up on the stage for their presentation.
Okay. I thought this is almost the final end of the program.
Oh, there are a few presentations, madam.
Okay. I think list is not provided. That's why I thought. Okay. Okay, now. So let us have one group photograph.
Thank you. Thank you, children.
Children, just put your hands like this, okay? All experts.
I would request Dr. Richa Bansal and Dr. Shubha Phadke to be ready with their presentations. I would request the children and the panelists to please step down from the stage.
How many presentations are left now?
We have Dr. Shubha, Dr. Mukulika, Dr. Richa and Dr. Urvashi.
So 5 minutes each?
Yes, 5
Okay.
minutes each.
Okay.
To move on,
Planned for today's, I think tomorrow or something.
to move on
I don't know
the
this.
session,
But anyhow, let us
I would like to invite Dr. Shubha Phadke with her presentation. Children, thank you so much. Kindly step down and allow the presentations to go on. I would request all the children to step down from the stage and allow the next presenter to give her presentation. Dr. Phadke, madam, please.
Thank you, the organizers, for giving me the opportunity. Just changing the gears. I'm going to talk about the technological changes which are going to affect each and every one of us during the next decade. And this is about adenine, thymine, guanine and cytosine. Is the presentation ready? Okay. So adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, these are the most important molecules of biology, and everybody knows that the sequence of A, T, G, C in their genes and genome is responsible for health and diseases. So in this era, now not only a single gene, but the whole genome sequence of 3 billion nucleotides can be available for each and every one of us, and I am going to present how this is going to change the diagnosis in this era. Everybody knows clinical diagnosis is very important and people are impressed. So as this girl walks in with a stiff gait, and then I realize that she has a disease called fibrodysplasia ossificans. And I tell the family, just show me the toes, and as expected she has a malformed great toe. And this is because she has a disease in which the muscles are getting ossified. That means the bones are formed in her muscles, and that is why she has this stiff gait. Now the drug is available for that. So if you want to confirm the diagnosis, then everybody in the world, whether that patient is from India or anywhere in the world, they have a one nucleotide change G to A in ACVR1 gene, and this is called monogenic disorders. For Lucknow and India, sickle cell, Nagpur and India, sickle cell disease is the commonest prototype of such single gene disorders, and this disease and sickle disease were identified in 1910, but the gene therapy became possible in 2015, that is almost 100 years after the disease was identified. So there are many such monogenic disorders, and here you can see the hearing aid, and this boy has deafness. But other boy who also has blue color eyes and white forelock of hair, I told the parents whether he can hear or not, and then the diagnosis was correct because they have Waardenburg syndrome, which is a disease discussed in a suspense story novel by Robin Cook. And not only human beings, but the animals with also have these single gene disorders, and 20% of the cats with blue colored eyes are deaf. So if you want to make a diagnosis of this particular disorder, syndrome. So how do you go for the diagnosis? It's very difficult. And this website, as it mentions, online Mendelian inheritance in man. Mendelian because everybody knows that the Mendel's laws were very famous, and these Mendel's laws, which he discovered by study on the traits in the pea plant, they hold true for many genetic disorders, and we are using it regularly for our patient care, and these monogenic disorders hence are called Mendelian disorders. And they follow recessive and dominant type of traits are there, and accordingly the diseases are there. So diagnosis of monogenic disorders became very important and easy because in 2003, 3 billion base pairs of human genome were sequenced by using $3 billion by these two gentlemen scientists, and they described that the Human Genome Project as a really biology's answer to Apollo space program. But after the man went on the moon, nobody is going to the moon every day. But because of availability of a new technique called next generation sequencing, now you don't need $3 billion for sequencing human genome, and practically every patient who comes to my OPD, we are sequencing his or her genome for diagnostic purposes. And the story of this Human Genome Project, you can see in the autobiography of this Craig Venter, who was the one who sequenced the genome. What do you do in whole genome sequencing is that you can sequence all the nucleotides in the genome, but many of those which are represented by blue lines, these are repetitive sequences or called junk DNA because we don't know the function. and about 2% of the genome, which has really important parts of the genome which code for the sequences of proteins, is called exome. And this exome is regularly used for diagnosis of patients with mental retardation, deafness, night blindness, and so on. There are more than 6,000 monogenic disorders known to us. The first prototype of utility of this exome sequencing is its landmark paper in 2011. This boy was a 15-month-old boy. Until then, he had multiple abscesses and underwent multiple surgeries. No cause could be found out, but his immune function was normal. And hence, under research program, his exome was sequenced and they identified a mutation or
I
a
think
defect.
it's time to conclude, looks like. Please
yes,
conclude in
yes,
one.
Yes, please.
Sorry, how many minutes? So then this became possible. The cause was identified that he has abnormality in a gene which prevents cell death, and hence the bone marrow transplant was done and cure was made. So this stresses the importance of such powerful technology. And once this technology became available, we also started sequencing our patients, and these cases which were reported about 20 years ago, we could identify the causative gene, and these are so rare that still now many other patients are not reported, and this stresses that patient care and research, the boundaries have become very blurred. And these are very rare disorders. So many disorders where there could be sudden death of fetus in the womb or cord death, you can identify the causes by using this sequencing.
Thank you so much, madam.
I think
My
with this
apologies.
particular, sorry, I will make a concluding statement.
please.
Is it allowed?
Yes, please do.
So with this powerful technology, now practically everyone is going to get sequenced because of their some or the other reasons, and then probably you will need to know that if you get to find out if you are going to get another disease in next 10 years or not. So what are the possibilities are immense. So the advantages as well as misuse of this technology is going to be there. So it's time that not only scientists but everybody gets to have more genetic literacy and understand the implications of such whole genome based technique for diagnosis, and not only scientists but everybody in the society. Various people need to be involved in policy making so that the scientific advancements do not cross the lines of ethics. And this is the last slide which I want to show, that these issues are discussed by a scientist in this book, and I would recommend everybody to read this particular book. So thank you very much. So basically genetics is the science which allows you to blame your parents for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Next, I will invite Dr. Urvashi to kindly give her presentation. Madam, I am constrained to restrict your time to 4 minutes only.
15 to 4 minutes. I'll try
4
my
minutes,
best.
please.
Good evening and warm regards to the galaxy of intellectuals. I'm not talking about this pandal, I'm talking about university. I, Dr. Urvashi Srivastava, would like to show my gratitude to General President Dr. Vijay Lakshmi ma'am for inviting me, and would like to make you all witness of my presentation today with the topic role of digitalization in women empowerment. I'll not go ahead there, so wind up within 4 minutes. What is digitalization? Before that, I would like to say, if you educate a man, you educate an individual, but if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. What is women empowerment? Before that, you should know what is digitalization. Digitalization is use of digital technologies, means using smartphones, laptops, computers, etc. to change a business model and provide new revenue and value producing opportunities. And the purpose of digitalization is the purpose of to enable automation, increase data quality, collect and structure all that data so we can apply advanced technology. Digitalization is leaving an impact on women so that more equal female participation can come up with that, and employment opportunities will be more for females, and entrepreneurship will be there for our women. Empowerment will be grew up over there. Online learning process will be there. Now UGC has given so many, learning procedure, online learning courses are given. 100%, I must say, now you can do the online courses. We have got this degree that we can do online courses from any of the university. The main thing, the main heading of the topic is Agenda of Sustainable Development. The goal 5 we are meeting out. The gender equality. I'm just shorting and cutting out all the thing as I have been told that completed within 4 minutes. Why women need technology and technology needs women. In this picture, it depicts that a man with a bigger globe and a woman with a smaller globe. Means females are using less internet and males are using more internet. You can see 25% fewer women are using internet. Why? Because they think that making and attending calls are more than sufficient. 21% less women own mobile phones. Why? Because if there is only single phone, their husbands are having mobile phones, they are happy with that. Less time is spending on economic opportunities, more time on socializing. They are happy if they are spending time on WhatsApp and Facebook. They are not giving time spending on economic opportunities. So it's time to grow up, it's time to wake up for females to empower themselves. Women need technology. Why? To make up, to develop marketable skill so that they can enhance economic opportunities. So, and their participation in decision making process will increase, and they can promote themselves and participate in modern world will be as equal as the man. Oh, so beautiful picture. This will lead to other question. Why technology needs women and why world needs more women in technology. 600 million additional female internet users are there by doing so. And this will hide income 13 to 18 billion increase in GDP. That's why in India only we call female Grah Lakshmi, only in India.
Madam, kindly conclude, please.
Yes, sure. Please, I'm coming. The last, Mahila E-Haat, this is Ministry of Women and Child Development, Government of India. This is an online marketing platform is there for women entrepreneurship, open to all Indian women above 18 years. Everyone can showcase your talent, whether you know clothing, jewelry, bags, everything you can showcase there. Entrepreneurs receive payment directly from buyers. I would like to end my presentation with last quote by say thank you, and every woman's success should be an inspiration to another. We are strongest when we cheer each other. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you for honoring the time as well. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Mukulika Hitkari, madam, Professor and Head, Department of Economics, DGPG College, Kanpur. She would be speaking on science and technology for sustainable development with women empowerment. Madam, I would be constrained to give you 5 minutes only.
Okay, thanks a lot.
4 minutes, sorry, 4 minutes only.
Okay, now I'm becoming a victim of severe time constraints right now. But anyways, I want to express my gratitude, first of all, to our President, Dr. Vijayalakshmi Saxena ji, because I'm telling you, I've been associated for the past 10 years with this Women's Science Congress, and respected dignitaries on the dais who are representing the women power out here, and my dear student fraternity. I would like, it's really a Herculean task, discussing entire perspectives and challenges, everything in just 5 minutes. But later on, you can ask for my PPT and I'll post it for you all, mail it to you. There are certain keywords, like our Honorable PM also said at the inaugural session. He also focused on development, sustainability. So likewise, I'm also coming up with that heavy-weighted word of technology and technological literacy. That is very, very important. See, I'm delivering an oral lecture. So technological literacy is very important for upskilling. And anybody knows what is the biggest gift, endowment, what digitalization has given to us? Yes, that is one and only one word, and that is connectivity. We are using mobiles, internet. You can't imagine a single day without accessing these. But they should create awareness. We should learn to explore it, utilize it, and optimize it towards our knowledge gaining apps. We can't afford to misuse or overuse it. There are negative approaches and positive approaches on both sides. Online activism is no doubt very important, but we need to upgrade our skills. We need to develop and create awareness towards cognitive skills, where you talk about brain-based skills. Then only we can afford to talk about economic development and sustainable development. And you see, you have the entire kaleidoscope of empowerment. But I'm touching upon economic empowerment and technological empowerment. And because property and ownership of rights and natural resources, they are very important. And obviously, technology teaches us the art of developing our digital skills. So I think let's respect the time factor, and it's difficult for me to discuss the perspectives, varying perceptions, because women are an elixir. We have so many examples where women can serve as inspirators, as motivators, and as leaders. There are so many women inspirations right from the ancient era, pre-Vedic era to the present. But what happened? Those who were interested in studying reading materials, only those persons could manage to gather with it. Otherwise, today, social media is a very, very powerful form of expression, and we are getting to know such women inspirers and leaders. So at the end, I would like to correlate women empowerment with science, technology, and innovation, and coupling the two with development of information, communication, and technological skills. You call it ICT skills in the scientific measure. What will be the result? In research, we talk about significant outcome before concluding. So significant outcome should be development, and it should be sustainability at all costs. Because you know what? I'll take 1 or 2 more minutes and I'll conclude my viewpoint, because sustainability and development, we have to correlate with STI and ICT skills. And obviously, women empowerment. So results should be, first of all, economic ownership, economic empowerment. Women are coming up with instructional blogs and videos, trying to upskill their knowledge. So they are adding to their incomes and affordabilities, isn't it? So it is a big commendable step where social media platforms can come and work towards sustainability, and then only we can talk about a sound economic nation, a sound nation with real income growth, with asset creation, and obviously with GDP growth, where we can talk about clean, green energy sectors. See, I started my journey with one word before concluding. You see, this concluding quote is, every crisis breeds an opportunity. This is the concluding quote, and post-pandemic era, we have witnessed this quote. So we have to move towards startups and entrepreneurial abilities. We have to shape our entrepreneurial abilities. And I started my journey with my lecture deliverance journey, my presentation with one word, and that was connectivity. Connectivity is one and the only one asset which you've got today in this era of digitalization. And I'm concluding with this word, commitment, which is a very powerful trait on the part of the women, coveted by women. And between these 4, I've come up with 4 C's. And if we try to instill these 4 C's within ourselves in our day-to-day lives, transformation of our lives, these words I sum up, and I will never say the word conclude. I'll say it's always a fresh start and a fresh beginning for us. This is a positive approach we have got to adopt. Thank you so much for making me a part of this presentation. Thank you.
Dr. Mukulika, in spite of the time constraint, you have given us a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. And then the last presenter on our list today is Dr. Richa Bansal. I would like to invite Dr. Richa Bansal, Associate National Project Officer, MGIEP. She would be speaking on empowering women through science and technology for achieving sustainable development, goal, issues, challenges, and opportunities. Dr. Richa, please.
Yeah, thank you. A very good afternoon to everyone present. At the outset, I would like to express my deep gratitude towards Dr. Vijayalakshmi Saxena ma'am, who gave me this wonderful opportunity to be able to participate in one of its kind mega event, Indian Science Congress Association. So, so I'm going to, move our focus a little bit away from science and technology, because like since 2 o'clock, since 1 o'clock, we have been listening about science and technology. And I truly believe there's hardly any doubt in believing that science and technology plays plays a very important role in women empowerment. But is it enough? I mean, science and technology, there's more to education in addition to science and technology. So, and that aspect, I'm going to walk you through my presentation, and maybe you would like to, think about it, and maybe try to instill this different and other aspects of education also in our young minds and, coming generations. So, I'm working with UNESCO Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Education for Peace and Sustainable Development. And yes, as a UN body, United Nations body, which has set up these 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which talks about women empowerment as SDG Goal 5, we truly believe in women empowerment, and which can be made possible through providing education. But what type of education system it should be? Okay, so, as we all know, women empowerment is promoting women's sense of self-worth, their ability to determine their own choices. But in the most simplest manner, we can define women empowerment as her authority on her own life in all contexts. So as women, as a girl, as a youth, as a family maker, as a working employee, as an entrepreneur, as a decision maker, as well as an independent identity. Do we have that authority? Do we have that liberty in our hands where we can actually decide what we really want to do? So that's the question. That's the question I'm asking to all the girls, all the women sitting here. So that is something it should, which only not the other people should be able to decide about you. Of course, your family, your people at workplace, everybody, your colleagues should be supporting you, in giving you that confidence and power. But it should first come from our inner self, right? We have a voice. It's just that we have to recognize that voice, we have to make a better use of it, and we have to feel empowered, right? So that is something, that is the concept or the aspect I'm talking about here, which should be provided through education from the very formative years of children. And that aspect I'm talking about is social emotional learning. So I'm just coming to that in 2 minutes. Okay, so what are the challenges now? Are we having equal opportunities? I think yes, we do have. Now we can say that because all the national and international bodies are working towards providing equal opportunities to women in all sectors of life. And that is being true now. I mean, we have progressed enough and we are still progressing. And yes, we can say that still now women and men are not, there's no biasness, there's no impartiality when we give opportunity to them in any sphere of life. So are we having that effective education system I was talking about? Are we have the right intention? Yes, we all do have. Right mindset. So that's the question mark. That's the question mark for me, for our families, for our communities, for our nation, as well as at the global level. And then what should be the right approach? Okay, so I think I'll go in the reverse order now. So right approach would be to rewiring the brain. When we say rewiring the brain, because our brain has already been wired, right? There are neural connections, we understand, we call it in science. But these neural connections can actually be rewired, right? So we have been following this concept, okay, there are gender stereotypes, male can do that, female can do that, but there's something that male can't do and there's something that female can't do. So that is coming from our mindset, right? Which has been conditioned through various years, various ages. So that needs to be worked upon. How can it be worked? We have to reform our education, okay? Where we are focusing mainly on the cognitive skills, we have to focus on social emotional skills also, right? We have to think about equality, which can come in the term of gender equality or in other sorts of equality. Interdependence, that yes, all human beings, irrespective of their gender, their socio-economic background, any difference, cultural difference, they are actually interdependent. There is no world which can exist without collaboration, without interdependence, then common humanity and impartiality, right? So when we understand all these different elements, we can definitely understand the real meaning of gender equality, and then we can talk about social development, economic development, and environmental sustainability, which are the three interrelated pillars of sustainable development.
Madam,
and then we can, yeah,
please.
sure. Okay, so in the last, I just say that.
Can we just sum up, ma'am?
Yes. So let's focus on social emotional learning skills, which can actually be acquired by all young minds, by all the learners in all parts of the world, by getting the right education. And as our National Education Policy 2020 also emphasized that this is the high time when we need to work on value-based education, we need to work on social aspects of education and lead our young minds towards the holistic development. So yes, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. This is what Aristotle said. He's the father of biology. So he also understands, though he is a scientific background, but he understands the value of educating the heart also. So in our institute, we are focusing on this. We are designing these programs, we are designing these courses, which are social emotional learning based, and we are ready to offer these programs to all the educational institutes in all parts of the world. So I welcome all the decision makers who might be sitting here to partner with us and to deploy these courses for your students in your institutions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, madam. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end of this plenary session. It has been a very enlightening afternoon for all of us, and I think it is time to felicitate all our accomplished women who have given wonderful presentations. I would hand over to Dr. Manju Dubey to announce the names, and I would request Dr. Nisha to do the honors. But before that, is Dr. Ramakrishna here? I would like to invite him on stage. Dr. Ramakrishna? Okay.
He's not there?
All right.
Okay.
Vote of thanks? Okay. Oh, I would like to invite Dr. Kalpana Pandey madam, Dr. Dabir madam up on stage to conclude and give the vote of thanks. There are a few announcements. Tomorrow's program begin at 10 o'clock at the main administrative building, Senate Hall. There are a few presentations lined up for tomorrow as well, which would be at the main administrative building at 10 o'clock. There is another exciting announcement, and I would request the team to play the video for that.
I am just announcing the name. Please come to the dais. Dr. Richa Bansal. Dr. Shalini, Dr. Urvashi, Shaka. Dr. Mukulika. Thank you so much.